taking calls on Russell Wilson. But there's no way they can actually move him, right? Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zulu, 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
Happy Friday, everybody. We made it. We put the work in. It's time to reap the benefits. I can't wait to take some time off here next week. I'll be gone Thursday and Friday, obviously prepping for my fight. My co-host Brent Martineau is out today, so I will be steering the ship with my co-navigator. Is there a co-navigator, such thing? Who cares? Justin Coos pushing all the right buttons with the hat on backwards.
Yeah.
Ken Griffey style.
Well, it's Friday. I don't really feel like doing my hair.
Casual Fridays, man.
Well, yeah.
Casual Fridays.
And I woke up early for Wandavision, so
Okay. Don't spoil it for me because I haven't watched it yet. Because here's what I'm going to do. I was going to binge the whole thing, right? Because I heard it's crazy. I heard there's a lot of Easter eggs and everything.
The episodes are 30 minutes maybe.
I like it. And
but
I heard there's
credits.
a lot to follow. Of course, man. Okay. It's Marvel. What are we talking about here?
Watch the credits.
But I want the honest Coos assessment of what you thought about WandaVision. Because obviously I see it all over Twitter right now.
Yeah.
People are going crazy with it. I've avoided the spoilers, thankfully. It hasn't been easy. So without spoiling the show, what was your assessment of WandaVision?
I think it was a great setup for what they're working towards next. With the Falcon and Winter Soldier and Doctor Strange 3 and Spider-Man. It's a really good setup.
Okay.
The first, I think it was 7 or 8 episodes. They were all about 30 minutes long, except for the last 2 were 40 and 45 minutes.
But still very, very, very digestible.
Quick
and
to the point, which is great.
Let's get that.
The last 2 that they added time to, I was like, this means it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
The last 2 were super letdowns.
Really?
And I don't want to give anything away, but
sure.
I was, because even though there was, I want to say it was the director or someone came out and was like, there's a big cameo.
Okay.
Well, there wasn't a big cameo. He said it jokingly. He was in it.
Okay.
That was the big cameo. So everyone's like, oh, Doctor Strange is going to be nothing like that.
Now, here's the thing,
happens.
though. Did you miss the cameo? Was it in the background and it was a secret you didn't notice?
If I hadn't seen a fan put out a video, be like, oh, did you see the cameo? The director was in it. I would have been like, no, he lied. Nobody was in this.
I'm going to be honest. I could care less about the director being in something.
Yeah.
Even with all due respect to Quentin Tarantino, because, he famously puts himself
that's
in his
fine.
movies, which is, that's great and everything, but that's not urgent, must-see breaking news.
What this was to launch the next of everything, essentially, in the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
So for that, I appreciate what it was. I was very disappointed with the last 2 episodes because I really thought we were going to have some crazy fight scenes and just some epicness.
Now that turns me off a little bit. Because it's all
you
about
have to watch it. It's I know what I mean.
I know. I got to put the time in. I understand it.
And I don't want to give too much away, but they essentially announced today that they're relaunching the X-Men stuff.
Yes,
there is a tie-in there. So
a lot of tie-ins.
Yes.
Okay.
It really is a huge. It was the next step. So
okay. Well,
you have to watch it.
I mean, obviously, I'm gonna check it out for sure. I'll probably binge it next week and have it done before the following weekend.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued for sure, but you aren't the only one that's told me now that the endings were kind of a letdown, which is unfortunate because
it's such a build-up for 7 episodes. They're building up to this tension, and then it's just we resolved it.
See, I'm just saying, Coos, and you aren't the first person that says. I feel like everybody online is saying this right now, but that doesn't make me want to watch it.
Yeah.
I don't want to put the time and be like, all right, this is crazy, and then all of a sudden, we'll wait for this letdown of an ending. But I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I mean that's. Yeah.
We'll see. Okay. But speaking of letdown a little bit, I understand that it's mock draft season, and I understand that people got bills to pay, and you got to make people subscribe to your college football or NFL takes sometimes. Like, everyone's got to pay the bills, and I understand that. But what disappoints me is it seems like every single day there's something new on the Zach Wilson front involving the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, for the most part, I've turned a blind eye. Zach Wilson, I wish you nothing but the best. I like the headband. I like the swag. I like your story. I like the way you play the game of football. But I'm all set, all right? I'm Team Trevor Lawrence, right? We have Kuz tracking Trevor Lawrence 24/7. It's really becoming his job. TMZ's already reached out to Justin Kuzar and saying, hey, you want to come work for us? And thankfully he's turned them down. Anything new on the Trevor tracker, by the way?
I think I sent it to you guys. Behind the scenes look of him doing a photo shoot with the, it was like a leaf blower so that his hair would flow.
And then arm still in the sling, Kuz? Can you confirm, or arm out of the sling?
Yes. So I ended up following the therapist place that he's going.
You did not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was
I like the commitment. I like the commitment.
There was another quarterback there. I forget who it was, but they were kind of showing. It was more like it was an article that was talking about this this place, saying that he's progressing faster than they thought.
Yeah.
And so that he might be able to get back to throwing a little bit sooner than they were thinking. And so I followed it, and they've been putting out these cool little tips, but essentially they just showed that they were like looking at his shoulder, and, and he's good.
Cool. I mean, the biggest thing, and we've talked about this a little bit, but the biggest thing for Trevor Lawrence, and like, he plays a position where strength isn't the most important thing, and obviously strength in your opposite throwing shoulder like that, you know, you don't need to be as strong as it once was, right? Like, I don't need Trevor Lawrence to increase his bench max. I think if a quarterback's even benching, you got issues. Now, I'm sure Tim Tebow back in the day could bench press 225 probably 15, 20 times, but you don't need that from your quarterback, right? Like, they wear the red shirt in training camp for a reason, and there was a reason why when we're in training camp and we're in the squat rack, we're doing deadlifts, we're putting the heavy weight on with the chains and everything, we're moving around weight. The quarterbacks in the corner with their stretch bands just kind of working on that shoulder mobility, right? Because that's what quarterbacks do. So that's the biggest thing with Trevor Lawrence going forward. And once again, non-throwing shoulder, so not the biggest of deals, but you got to make sure that shoulder has its full range, or at least close to the full range that it had before. Because even when you're a quarterback and you throw with the opposite shoulder, and once again, I'm a defensive end, so what do I know? But I just think that if you have that shoulder stiffness and that follows you into training camp and that follows you into a game, it's going to be noticeable. So hopefully, I'm sure Kuz, like you've been saying, you've been tracking him. I'm sure he's working on shoulder mobility, shoulder stability, maybe some strengthening as well. But when you play the quarterback position, I don't need you to look good for muscle and fitness. What I need you to look good for is a front page of a yoga magazine one day showing off your mobility. Do you think Trevor Lawrence gets the next Lululemon endorsement a la Nick Foles?
I think he's trying to get a Gatorade endorsement right now. Him and his fiance are drinking Gatorade out of the can on a beach.
Real question.
As of an hour ago.
Okay. First of all, I want to know where you get Gatorade in a can in public, because I haven't really seen it that much.
This one's lemon lime flavored too.
Oh, I mean, that's the OG Kuz.
Is it? Okay.
Next question though. You ever had Gatorade out of a can?
I have not. This is actually the first time I've seen it in a can. So
let me go ahead and fill you behind the scenes a little bit. There is nothing more enjoyable after a football practice, or for your case, maybe a basketball YMCA session, than Gatorade out of a can.
Golf sesh.
Or maybe a nice golf. So, well, then maybe a beer, while you're playing.
But then the Gatorades to get the electrolytes and everything back in the system so you can go home.
And that's kind of how I feel about golf. If you can have a beer during it, I mean, yeah, you're an athlete, but you're say what you want about it.
Well, I'm interested to get your opinion on the Baker thing. Then we can talk about that later, though.
I can't wait, though. But Gatorade out of a can, and believe me when I say, is the ultimate game changer. Back in college, Gatorade actually made protein shakes back in the day, and they were weight-gaining protein shakes. Have you ever seen those? They're only like for colleges. They didn't really sell them to like, chain stores or grocery stores. Like, it was like a college thing. And the way I can describe it, it was like a shake. It was like it tasted like a thawed out like chocolate shake or strawberry shake.
Okay.
Very good. Now, 400 calories per can, number one. And I used to drink 2 of them because if you try to gain weight in college, The sugar content, though.
A lot.
And apparently back in 2008 and 2009, sugar wasn't that big of a deal, right? It's kind of like, wow, back in the day, you can't eat butter because of the cholesterol.
Yeah.
Turns out now butter's actually not that bad for you.
They're putting it in their coffee.
Yeah, exactly. People are bulletproof. Is it called bulletproof coffee? I don't drink coffee.
I've had it actually before. It's actually not bad.
Not bad.
Like I bought it. It was on. I think it was on sale at like Publix or something like that. And I bought it and brought it home, and just made it a regular way. And then I was like looking at their bulletproof specifically had like a thing on the back that was like the best way to drink this. And I saw that it was like you got to put butter in it and like stir it, let it get frothy. And I was like, all right, I'll give it a try.
Well, there it is. But the Gatorade protein shake was fantastic. But once again, 30 grams of sugar. So in one setting, I'm taking 60 grams of sugar. I'm hyped up. I'm feeling good. I'm ready for my post-workout recovery. And then, I kid you not, 3 hours later, every single day, just crashed.
Done.
Just hit the wall. And I had no idea why. Because let's be honest, I was at Murray State. We didn't really take pride in the nutrition aspect back then just because, we were a smaller school and I was drinking Gatorade protein shakes and I was eating Spam and rice every single day. Mm-hmm. Once again, in retrospect, Spam and rice. Probably not the best midnight snack, but that's what I did. Anyways, Coos. The Gatorade in the can, I didn't have until I got to Jacksonville. You know how they say, like, Coke out of a bottle? Like, like the green bottle is, like, a game changer, or, like, Coke from McDonald's is just different?
Yeah.
Gatorade out of a can hits completely differently, and it's for all the best ways possible.
Okay.
It's just, it's an amazing thing. I don't know if they sell it online. I'm not sure if we can get our hands on it. I feel like back in training camp when we would go cover it when it was, pre-COVID-19, I feel like Rod, one of the trainers there, might have snuck one to me. And I'm not trying to snitch on anybody, but might have snuck one to me one time. But it doesn't get any better than Gatorade in a can. So if you have an opportunity to experience that, by all means, check it out. But once again, being Gatorade, go ahead and check the sugar content. And I understand. I sound so old right now when I say check the sugar content. But seriously, there's a lot of sugar in those things.
Yeah.
But anyways, getting back to the whole Zach Wilson thing. I'm not sure how we got sidetracked on Gatorade, but nothing wrong with that. So today, Mike Florio, a Pro Football Talk, a guy who is very well known in the football circles, tweeted out basically that the Jacksonville Jaguars have conducted 2 of the maximum 5 Zoom interviews with Zach Wilson already, and that Jacksonville QB coach Brian Schottenheimer spent time this week talking with John Beck about Wilson. Now, John Beck, former BYU Coug himself, played quarterback for them. And it's funny because obviously I read this. I'm like, okay, well, what else is new? But then you see the response from Jet fans. And you see the feeling like, oh, no, is Jacksonville getting ready to take Zach Wilson? And let's be honest, we had the equipment manager of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and we all kind of made jokes saying, what number is Trevor Lawrence going to take? He's going to take 16. What are we talking about here? But then he also made the little comment, well, it could be number 1. Who says it's going to be Trevor Lawrence? It might be Zach Wilson, rocking number 1. I get that people are throwing this Zach Wilson narrative everywhere right now, and it's fun. It gets the conversation going. It's opening our show right now, so congratulations. But y'all are crazy. And I'm talking to Jets fans who have a little shred of optimism that they can get Trevor Lawrence. I'm talking to the NFL experts out there that think that Zach Wilson is the top quarterback and that the Jaguars should take him. I'm talking to Jaguars fans right now that are a little nervous because they see these rumblings and they don't know what to think about it, right? 2 of 5 interviews. Listen, we saw what Urban Meyer did at Trevor Lawrence's pro day. Essentially stalking the dude 5 yards away. Going on the field, making himself known, trying to put the pressure on Trevor Lawrence. That should tell you all you need to know about how Urban Meyer feels about this quarterback draft class. The fact that Trevor Lawrence essentially changed around his entire schedule, changed around the Clemson Pro Day in order to have surgery early so he's ready for training camp because Urban Meyer told him to do that, that proves to me that Trevor Lawrence is coming to Jacksonville. So, New York Jets fans, I understand right now you guys are having a field day. There's a hint of optimism. Maybe you're popping bottles right now. It's a Friday and you're saying, hey, crazier things have happened in the NFL. And you know what? Yes, crazier things have happened maybe. But it's not going to be Zach Wilson going ahead of Trevor Lawrence. We can assume right now that the talks between Shad Khan and Urban Meyer have been in fruition before he got here for a while. It's not just like a couple months ago before Urban Meyer got here. Shad Khan reached out to Urban Meyer and was like, all right, so what's up? You interested? No. This dialogue, this conversation, this has been going on for a while now. And it's been going on for a while, in my opinion, during the college football season as well. And the ironic thing of this college football season was week 1, week 2, let's go to week 5, week 6. What was the storyline? It was Trevor Lawrence. It was Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields. Nobody was even talking about Zach Wilson. Yeah, BYU undefeated. Yeah, BYU ranked, top 15. But Zach Wilson was kind of an afterthought until later on in the season. And then all of a sudden he became kind of that hot topic trend. And for whatever reason, Justin Fields falls by the wayside. But Trevor Lawrence always remained the same. No, he didn't win a national championship. But the hype, the intrigue, it stayed the same. Urban Meyer took this job in Jacksonville for Trevor Lawrence. Urban Meyer is not going to go, all right, Trevor, go ahead and schedule your surgery, move up your pro day, do all this stuff, and then take Zach Wilson. It's fun to talk about. It's fun to banter about back and forth. But can we please put on our realist glasses a little bit here? NFL society, NFL experts. Is Zach Wilson going to be the best quarterback of this class? Time will tell. But let's be honest. If you're any GM right now in the NFL, and I know there's rumors out there saying that head coaches, like a head coach or a GM, like Zach Wilson more than Trevor Lawrence, I get that's hearsay. But let's put on our real thinking caps real quick. If any GM or any head coach was to take Zach Wilson over Trevor Lawrence, what do you think that response would be? Kuz, any guesses? Riots, maybe? Right?
For specifically here in Jacksonville?
Anywhere. But yeah, let's call it in Jacksonville.
It would not go over well.
It would not go over well. And when you have Urban Meyer, his first year on the gig, when you have Trent Baalke, who's obviously he's had GM experience in the past, but his first go around as the Jaguars GM, do you really think that they're going to go out of their way and try to do the, essentially make the riskiest of all plays and bring in Zach Wilson? Absolutely not. So, Mike Florio, I understand that it's fun to talk about this stuff, right? It gets everybody amped up and gets everybody talking. But to sit here and make it breaking news that the Jaguars conducted 2 of the maximum 5 Zoom interviews, well, let's be honest. There is no combine this year, okay? And in terms of evaluating the talent, in terms of sitting down with players and getting them on the board, those days are done this year, okay? It's going to be a different type of landscape this year in how these scouts, how the general manager, and how coaches are going to evaluate talent. And they will truly be put to the test because there's going to be a lot of small school guys out there that aren't going to get their shine at the combine. There's going to be a lot of small school guys out there that are kind of unheard of right now that maybe some teams might take a chance on. And maybe it becomes the pick of the draft or maybe it backfires. But there is a lot of risk reward this year, maybe more than ever before in the up-and-coming NFL draft. But in terms of risk, you're not going to risk Zach Wilson over Trevor Lawrence. So let's put it to bed. The other big story that I saw today, and I'll be honest with you, I can't believe we're still here. I can't believe that I'm still talking about this thing. I feel like I've been talking about it every single day for the past 2 weeks. But as this quarterback carousel keeps on turning, new elements make themselves known. And the new element now, and let me make sure I bring this information up right here because once again, I had a hard time believing it. So ESPN's Jeremy Fowler expects the Bears to take their shot at Russell Wilson. And according to sources, Russell Wilson likes their emerging offensive line, an offensive-minded coach, and the Chicago market. Now, who leaked that to Jeremy Fowler? It wasn't obviously Russell Wilson. Is this another play by Russell Wilson's agent to try to drum up some interest a little bit? I have no idea. But like I always say, everybody, where there's smoke, there's fire. And the fact now we're talking about Russell Wilson liking the Chicago market, Russell Wilson liking Matt Nagy, and obviously liking that Bears offensive line, it's another wrinkle. It's another chapter in As the Wilson Turns, let's just call it, of this soap opera. And to me, I'm going to be honest here. I think the whole market thing of Russell Wilson wanting to go to Chicago because of the market, we've gotten in this debate before between New York and Jacksonville. You can go back and forth and say the pros and cons of each city. Obviously, having that free state tax is good in Jacksonville. In terms of endorsements and things like that, maybe you find better ones in New York. But at the same time, this is the NFL, okay? This is the league where if you are a shining star on any team in any city, you will be known. We're talking about possibly the most popular quarterback right now in Patrick Mahomes playing in the middle of Kansas City, all right? We're talking about Baker Mayfield getting commercial after commercial after commercial. And you know what? Those Baker Mayfield commercials, they really grew on me. They really did. Now, maybe it's because he started winning, but I like the Baker Mayfield commercials now. I get a chuckle out of them. I'm expecting more. I can't wait. But you got Russell Wilson with Aaron Rodgers doing State Farm commercials. It goes to show you, if you're a quarterback and you play at a very high level, you're going to get the endorsements, man. You're going to get the marketability. Doesn't matter if you're Dak Prescott doing the yogurt commercials or if you're a Cam Newton in the past doing the yogurt commercials. If you're good, if you're intriguing, they're going to find a spot for you. So the fact that the Chicago market is getting brought up by Jeremy Fowler in terms of something that Russell Wilson's interested in, Russell Wilson, I've seen you in Bose commercials. I've seen you and Sierra everywhere. I saw you do a Macklemore commercial. Macklemore being a Seattle rapper, obviously. Is he still making music, by the way, Kuz?
I haven't heard anything from him in a minute.
Dude kind of went off the grid a little bit.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder. And
took his money and retired.
Well, I mean, hey, and despite what you think about Macklemore's music, I've made it public on Twitter how I feel about it. Don't need to bring it up on this show. But you got to respect that guy's hustle. I mean, he was an independent artist. He had his own label, made his hits. So, like, every album that he sold or every download that he had went directly into his pocket. And obviously, he's a big Seattle Seahawks fan working with Russell Wilson. So, it's not like Seattle's a small market. It's not like people don't talk about the Seattle Seahawks. I think the Seattle Seahawks are one of the bigger brands. I think Pete Carroll has something to do with that. I think Marshawn Lynch has something to do with that. I think the Legion of Boom obviously does. But obviously Russell Wilson is the star there. He's the quarterback. He plays the most important position. So why are we talking about the Chicago market? If you're a top 5 quarterback already, if you were, a half a season away from winning the MVP award this past year, why are you worried about the market? Russell Wilson, you can go wherever you want. You can go to a new expansion team in Timbuktu, as far as I'm concerned, and you'll still be a star. So the whole Chicago market thing kind of makes me raise my eyebrows a little bit and kind of turn my nose at that. But the offensive line and the offensive-minded coach, those two things stick out to me. And once again, whether you believe the rumors of Wilson being interested in Chicago, whether you believe the rumors of Chicago being interested in Wilson and getting ready to get a trade package together, whatever the case may be, you can't deny the fact that Russell Wilson is fed up with his offensive line in Seattle and the offensive philosophy. And once again, it comes down to a coach's ego. It comes down to a coach who's always done things a certain way in Pete Carroll, who has a belief of how an offense should be ran. You run the ball first, you play great defense, and then all of a sudden, because you're a victim of circumstance, DK Metcalf gets going, Russell Wilson gets going, your pass game gets going, and then your defense sputters a little bit because they can't keep up. And then the team starts to look, different than what Pete Carroll envisioned, even though you're winning football games. What have I said on this show? You do what you got to do to make sure that your starting quarterback is taken care of. Whether that's from a philosophy, whether it's from an offensive line, whether it's from the confidence, whatever the case may be, you go above and beyond the quarterback position because you know why, everybody? That quarterback's worth it. Trevor Lawrence, he's worth it. Setting back a Clemson Pro Day, he's worth it. Making Trevor Lawrence get surgery a little early, he's worth it. Urban Meyer standing 5 yards away from Trevor Lawrence. He's worth it. Is Zach Wilson worth it? Don't know. Don't care. Give me Trevor Lawrence. More on ESPN 690 when we get back.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Partly sunny today. Temperatures topping at around 70 degrees. Cooler at the beaches. Join me beginning at 5 p.m. for CBS 47 at Fox 30. Action News Jax from the First Alert Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, where right now you can get 5 years, zero-interest financing with nothing down.
Hey, boss. How's it going?
How's it going? Oh, let me tell you how it's going. So far this year, I've broken my pinky toe, had a flat tire, and currently I'm trying to pass a kidney stone the size of Rhode Island.
Well, karma strikes again.
What?
Nothing. Oh, look, it's the first Crooks Are Us survey of 2021. They're asking crooks like us to list the top reasons we avoid safe touch houses.
There's the crash and smash technology, the video monitoring.
Yeah, but what's number one?
Gotta be the two-way communicator.
That's what I said.
Oh, yeah. The two-way communicator leads to verified alarms, which lead to faster response times, which are all very bad for us crooks.
Which all just circles back to the Crooks Are Us golden rule. Stay away from safe touch houses.
Yeah, thanks, Captain Obvious.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
CGC Water has been telling you if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Still not a believer? Well, you can believe me. My family has been a happy CGC Water customer for 4 years now. Customer service is tremendous. We got our water tested. We were told about our options in financing in detail. No pressure, just information. Installation was quick, and the CGC team was there every step of the way. And we absolutely love it because it works. Heck, I even think my coffee tastes better because of it. And I love my coffee. A Connecticut system from CGC Water removes up to 99% of contaminants. That's clean. Schedule your free water test today and ask how you can save up to $500. CGC is still taking extra precautions with in-home visits and continuing to follow CDC guidelines. Financing available with approved credit. Call 904-552-1242 for details or visit cgcwater.com. Serving Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia. CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Connecticut dealer.
No matter what you're driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of Fields Auto Group's dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group stores in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com.
Do you have a passion for sales? Are you known for building strong relationships? Do you love to compete and win? CMG Jacksonville is searching for a talented individual to join our family as a media consultant. This position will require a committed person who will forge great relationships with Jacksonville's business leaders and develop profitable campaigns for advertisers. If your talents are a match, email your resume to jaxjobs@cmg.com. That's JAXJOBS@cmg.com or call 245-8732.
Shred your goals this year with the new Metabolism Boost Banana Passion Fruit Smoothie from Smoothie King. At only 240 calories and 14 grams of protein per 20 ounces, this crave-controlling meal smoothie has non-GMO whole fruits, naturally derived caffeine, and absolutely no syrups. Or try strawberry pineapple or mango ginger. Start your healthier habit and order online at smoothieking.com. Now for pickup or delivery at any of the Jacksonville area locations. Smoothie King, rule the day.
Hi. My name is Christina Clossie. I'm the CFO at Web.com Group, and I'm proud to serve as chair of the First Coast American Heart Association's 2021 Go Red for Women campaign. Cardiovascular disease is the #1 killer of women, and too many women remain unaware. We encourage all women to live fierce and be relentless in taking charge of their health. To learn more or get involved, visit firstcoastgored.heart.org.
After a car accident, you can feel like you've lost control. I'm Mark Anajar from the law offices of Anajar & Levine. After the crash, call the police and document the scene by taking photos of all the vehicles involved. If you were injured, get medical attention as soon as possible. If you've been involved in a car accident, call the law offices of Anajar & Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000 for a free consultation. And take back control of your life.
Office in Jacksonville.
This is Greeny with Mike Greenberg.
J.J. Watt, interesting choice.
Imagine the conversation we're having today if he signed in Green Bay. Instead, he goes to Arizona, signs to play in the best division in football. Are they the fourth best team in that division? Could be. He went to the place that had the salary cap space to afford him. And again, that's not a criticism. It's just a simple statement of fact.
Greeny with Mike Greenberg. Weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio. And watch exclusively on ESPN+.
Brent Martineau.
This is an email. Why is WWE Wrestling not being shown on Friday night?
Austin Lane.
Thank you very much. Read it right now. This
I
could be
just
for me.
did. Why is WWE? That's it. That's
it?
why I thought. I don't know. I mean, Ronan's only 5. I don't know how many sentences he can make.
Yeah,
Smart kid.
Somebody might have proofread it for him.
Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
You got Travis Kelce. No one knows Darren Waller because he plays for Las Vegas, but he had 197 catches the last 2 years. But he's that kind of player. 6'5" and change, 250 pounds is where he's going to wind up being. And you can play him in line. He's physical as a blocker, even though he's not great, but he at least gives effort. But you can put him, flex him out in the slot, put him out wide. You can do so many different things with him. And Zach Ertz is not going to be there in Philly. So now you have Dallas Goedert, and if Pitts is the pick, now you're giving your young quarterback, Jalen Hurts, a real opportunity, in my opinion, to create some mismatches.
It's Todd McShay. Because I have to know who I have to direct my negativity towards right now. And I said negativity with all due respect. Friend of the show, Todd McShay, stalked and chased down and clipped at the Clemson Pro Day, Todd McShay, as Brent was looking for some interviews. And we appreciate him giving him the soundbite. But the reason why I'm upset about Todd McShay is because he has the Philadelphia Eagles at number 6 in the latest Todd McShay draft, taking Kyle Pitts. And the definition is as follows. Despite the Eagles' glaring weakness at wide receiver, I'm mixing it up with Pitts at number 6. It'd be the 10th time a tight end has been drafted before the first wide receiver off the board, and only 4 other tight ends have ever been taken in the top 6. But here's the thing. Pitts is more than just a tight end. He's a matchup nightmare who can line up all over the place and has great speed, hands, and 6'6" size, make him extremely difficult to contain. Philadelphia should add receiver help in free agency. Put a Pitts-Dallas Goedert pairing is a dream for any offensive coordinator. Kuz, he makes great points. He really does make great points. And we know what that Zach Ertz Dallas Goedert combination was, when both were healthy. It was a lethal combination. I don't think that was just a Doug Peterson wrinkle. Like, I think a lot of coaches in this league right now, through how when you had the elite tight end position covered, it opens up some interesting things. Ask the Raiders, ask the 49ers, obviously ask the Kansas City Chiefs. Having that game-changing tight end can mean everything. Now, obviously, Kyle Pitts does to prove himself. We're not ready to call him an all-pro as soon as he gets to the league. But a combination of speed, size, and his ability to line up all over the field, how could you not like that? And I get the point that maybe he's not the best run blocker, per se. But if you've watched any Kyle Pitts film, the guy plays with a sense of urgency, and he plays with a sense of finish. And sometimes from the tight end position, that's rare to find, right? Because you think of a lot of tight ends, they're maybe a little more finesse-oriented, right? Like, yeah, you're going to block every once in a while, but you're getting paid to make touchdowns, right? You're getting paid for all the receptions. But I get the sense that Kyle Pitts wants to be that dual-threat guy. Like, the last thing I want to see, honestly, and regardless of where Kyle Pitts goes, hopefully it's Jacksonville, but, that's big-time wishful thinking. But the last thing I want to see from Kyle Pitts is a team use him as just a wide receiver. Because I don't think he's that. I think he's such an athletic freak, and in terms of size and stature, he's only going to put on weight. Why you wouldn't use him in the run game as well as a blocker, I think that if you don't, you're doing yourself a disservice and you're doing your team a disservice. So obviously Philadelphia, they had the luxury of having Dallas Goedert already. You can slowly bring Kyle Pitts along. But like Big Shay was saying, there's a lot of pressing needs in Philadelphia right now. And wide receiver being one of them. Yes, there's a very deep pool of wide receiver free agents, assuming that Allen Robinson doesn't get tagged, Chris Godwin doesn't get tagged, Kenny Golladay doesn't get tagged. Like, there's a lot of guys out there that the Eagles could pursue. But there's also a lot of guys in the NFL draft at the wide receiver position that the Eagles could like as well. So I'm still holding out hope. I hope that Kyle Pitts falls. It's wishful thinking. It's sunshine and rainbows. But I think if he gets past Philadelphia, because when you have teams like Detroit, Carolina, San Francisco, Dallas, New York, I feel like there's other pressing needs. In Denver, who they just drafted Noah Fant, Los Angeles, who has Hunter Henry as of right now. We'll see what happens with that. But I feel like if he can get past Philadelphia and maybe New York at number 11, you never know. You never know if Jacksonville trades up. Before I get into the Todd McShay mock draft, though, and the latest one that just dropped this morning, let's go to the ESPN 690 stream. Kuz, is that what we're calling it, right?
Yep.
I did that.
Chat, but yeah.
Is it the ESPN 690 stream or the ESPN 690 chat?
Chat.
Okay.
Do you want me to change the graphic to help you?
I'm going to need you to change the graphic on one of the words. Either take out stream or take out chat.
Okay, we'll change it to chat.
But listen, I'm like Ron Burgundy. I read what's in front of me, all right? When I see ESPN 690 stream chat, guess what I'm going to read?
Stream chat.
Yes, sir.
I'll change it to chat.
No, I'm just kidding, man. You don't have to do that. That's extra work on a Friday, and nobody likes that.
That's like I'll just get some
Is it
clip
minor?
art going.
Okay, well, regardless, though, the ESPN 690 chat, and a lot of them I'm seeing right now, it is mock draft related a little bit, and I've seen this question a lot, not only on our show, but also all over Twitter. Zavion Collins, inside linebacker, Tulsa. Now, first of all, do me a favor right now. Go ahead and take any preconceived notions about a guy coming out of Tulsa and has he gone against competition. For Zavion Collins, it does not matter. Okay? If you've seen any film on this guy, he's a freak. And I mean that and with all due respect. But this guy looks like he's NFL ready like right now. 6'4", at least 260 pounds, might weigh in a little heavier, we'll see. But built like a defensive end, plays like a safety, and is an inside linebacker. Now, you know how I feel about the 3-4 and what the Jaguars have right now. Miles Jack's going nowhere. This team is committed to him for a while. He's one of the leaders in that locker room. He's one of the pillars in that locker room. And you're going to be out of your mind if you even plan on trading Miles Jack for anything. Miles Jack's going to be on this team next year come hell or high water. Joe Schobert's different because Joe Schobert, listen, if Doug Marrone and Dave Caldwell were still here, well, then yeah. Regardless if you do a 3-4 defense or a 4-3, Schobert's the man because you brought him in here. But let's keep in mind, Joe Schobert is not an Urban Meyer guy. He's not a Joe Cullen guy. They got here, and he was here. So they don't owe Joe Schobert anything. But with that being said, I'm not ready to call it up on the Joe Schobert experiment quite yet. I think that he's going to benefit from playing in this 3-4 defense, what we assume is coming. I think he's going to benefit from playing the Mike position, making all the calls, and coming from north to south. Now, yeah, every once in a while you have to go into coverage, of course, depending on the look. But I think this defense coming up is going to fit Joe Schobert nicely. And I've spoke about it a little more. From Wisconsin, he played defensive end, played outside linebacker, played inside linebacker. Like he has the football knowledge to be a great Mike linebacker, I believe, in a 3-4 defense. And that's one of the most important things, is having that knowledge to line up everybody, to make sure that you know where the gaps are going to be, to make sure what the offense is trying to do, and make sure that everyone stays in their gaps. Because we've talked about this before a little bit. Sense of communication has been a problem in Jacksonville. If you bring the loss of communication to a 3-4 defense, it's going to be amplified like times 5. And that's the last thing you want to see. So I don't mind Joe Schobert playing inside linebacker. But the question remains, Zavion Collins. You know who Zavion Collins reminds me of a little bit? And you have to come with me a little bit here on this comparison because it's two different positions. But I remember when Khalil Mack came out of Buffalo, and you would watch Khalil Mack play, and you got the sense, okay, he's a little raw. Obviously, he's big. He's athletic. You see everything is there, but he's raw. And he plays, in Buffalo, where you're not playing the highest competition per se. But at least I got the sense that when Khalil Mack got drafted, with his work ethic, his motor, eventually he was going to figure it out. That's exactly how I feel about Zavion Collins. I feel like Zavion Collins could be a stud in the NFL at the middle linebacker position for years to come, whether that's in a 3-4 defense or a 4-3 defense. In Todd McShay's mock draft right now, lo and behold, he's got Zavion Collins going 26. One pick after the Jaguars, going to the Cleveland Browns. I think there's other pressing needs on this team. We talk about interior defensive line. We talk about the safety position. But to me, it depends what Joe Cohen, Urban Meyer, Trent Baalke think about this Zavion Collins guy. Is this like another Khalil Mack situation where all he needs is the right coaching and he's going to be a star, an all-pro, a potential Hall of Famer for years to come? Possibly. If you truly think that, do you pull the trigger? Possibly. But I just think there's other needs right now that have to come on this team before the inside linebacker position, even if it is with a guy like Zavion Collins. When we come back in ESPN 690, who are the Jaguars taking at number 25? What's the latest on Todd McShay? And spoiler alert, it's not Christian Barmore. It's somebody different, everybody. More on ESPN 690 when we get back.
ESPN 690 SportsCenter Update.
Happy Friday. I'm Jake Mitchell. The Steel City is saving a ton of cap space thanks to Big Ben. The veteran QB restructured his deal to save the team $15 million and to take a personal pay cut of $5 million this year. Here's Dan Orlovsky, ESPN NFL analyst, who thinks that still might not be enough.
What's next is one, fix the offensive line. You know, it's like Villanueva, their left tackle, free agent. Banner, free agent. Pouncey, done. DeCastro's expensive. So, you know, like they better fix the offensive line before anything, and that's going to be very difficult. They've got a lot of big moves left to even get back to, like, contending or thinking about getting into the playoffs.
And you may want to go through your football card collection because someone just sold a Tom Brady rookie card for a record $1.32 million. Previous record for a football card was $500,000. This SportsCenter Update is brought to you by Morgan & Morgan. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
CGC Water has been telling you if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Still not a believer? Well, you can believe me. My family has been a happy CGC Water customer for 4 years now. Customer service is tremendous. We got our water tested. We were told about our options in financing in detail. No pressure, just information. Installation was quick, and the CGC team was there every step of the way. And we absolutely love it because it works. Heck, I even think my coffee tastes better because of it. And I love my coffee. A Kinetico system from CGC Water removes up to 99% of contaminants. That's clean. Schedule your free water test today and ask how you can save up to $500. CGC is still taking extra precautions with in-home visits and continuing to follow CDC guidelines. Financing available with approved credit. Call 904-552-1242 for details or visit cgcwater.com. Serving Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia. CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Kinetico dealer.
They just don't make them like they used to.
People say that a lot, and sometimes it's true, but not for air conditioners. Manufacturers actually make them better than they used to. It's just that local AC companies don't install them like they ought to. Old school rules of thumb and yesterday's shortcuts simply sabotage new school systems. Can new technology give you more comfort with longer service life? Only if the AC tech knows how to properly engineer it for your home and how to install it right. So techs that don't understand inverters, low voltage controls, and how to configure the software, dip switches, and refrigerant charge for Florida humidity, they'll totally turn it into turd buckets, especially if they just do a swap the box install without fixing your ductwork and airflow. My point, the better the technology, the more important the install. At Griffin Service, we fix what others can't, but it's best to have us install it right from the beginning. So if your new system ain't working right or your old one needs replacing, call
GriffinService.com.
1250-697.
I should have my kid tell you about Jumpin' Jack's House of Food. It's Ty's favorite burger in town. Make it one of your favorites as well. Jumpin' Jack's House of Food has 3 locations now, Atlantic Beach, Mandarin, and downtown Jacksonville. Change your life burgers. But they have salads, pizza, and much more on the menu, too. Let Jumpin' Jack's House of Food be your great neighbor. Lunch or dinner with the family, or they will cater parties from 2 to 500 people. Jumpin' Jack's, HOF.com for online ordering. Jumpin' Jack's House of Food, open 7 days a week.
Saying goodbye to a loved one is never easy. Hi, I'm Larry Self, owner of The Casket Store. For the past 20 years, we've been helping people plan ahead with affordable options and quality products. Often people are caught by surprise and in the midst of their grief end up paying much more for the exact same casket. We offer cemetery headstones, bronze markers, caskets, urns, and more at 40 to 70% off standard funeral prices. Please visit us at thecasketstore.com.
The Players' Championship is almost here. Even though things will look a little different, the tournament is continuing its tradition of kicking off tournament week with a Military Appreciation Day. On March 9th, the Players will host a campaign, Match for Military, to generate awareness and support for military organizations in our community. And it is committed to match all donations dollar for dollar up to $250,000. Visit theplayers.com to learn more.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Grainger, offering supplies and solutions for every industry, with 24/7 support and experienced staff at over 250 local branches. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You're ready to get back into yoga, so you order the essentials. A non-slip mat, yoga blocks to keep balance, and an exercise ball. And you use your Bank of America Cash Rewards credit card, choosing to earn 3% cash back on online shopping and up to 5.25% as a preferred rewards member, which you put towards your most essential yoga gear. Noise-canceling headphones.
Welcome. Take a deep breath. Breathe.
Apply for yours at bankofamerica.com/more rewarding. Copyright 2020 Bank of America Corporation.
Max. I can't wake up and say, you know what, I don't want to be here. I don't want to do this. That's not where I am right where I want to be.
The Max Kellerman Show, weekdays at 2 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Watch exclusively on ESPN+.
We all know about Trevor. Zach Wilson is kind of this unique character, but he also doesn't have the big game experience like Fields does. You've got Trey Lance, who played at the FCS level and just started 17 games. And Fields, for playing 2 years at a big-time program, he did a lot of great things. But then you look at the Indiana game, the Northwestern game, the national championship game against Alabama, he just didn't play at a really high level. So it's tough to evaluate these 4 guys and kind of compare one against the other after you get past Trevor.
Not sure who that was, but I agree with him.
McShay.
Okay, well, good. I mean, McShay knows what's up. Trevor Lawrence, QB1, and then everybody else can hash it out a little bit. I do, and this isn't really for selfish reasons, but a little part of me envies the New York media right now because you can go back and forth. You take Zach Wilson. Do you take Trey Lance? Do you take Mac Jones? Do you take Justin Fields? Like, that's a fun conversation to be having right now because you can make arguments for each one of them. Over here, I mean, hey, we just set it and forget it. Trevor Lawrence this, Trevor Lawrence that. I mean, it's pretty easy on my part, and it's the best quarterback, in my opinion, in the draft, so it's not a bad thing. I'm not complaining by any means, but it makes my job pretty easy when we talk about the first pick of the draft. Pick 25, though, is a different story. And I just kind of brought up Xavier Collins a little bit, and I see your comments out there. And by the way, got to address this real quick as well. Brett E., who I'm still convinced is actually Brent Martineau's burner account, but he says, since there's no Brent today, does this mean we're going to get a UFC 259 breakdown from Austin? And Brett, you better believe it, all right? Because this card coming up, UFC, it's a big one. And even if Brent was here right now, and, I get Sawgrass and players is coming up, but you better believe even if Brent was here, I would be fighting for my airtime to break down 259. So you better believe more than likely in the 5 o'clock hour, I will be addressing UFC 259. It's going to be a fantastic card. Style Bender versus Jan Blachowicz. It's going to be a fight for the ages, I feel like, and there's so much to talk about, so we'll address that later. And also in the 4 o'clock hour, for all you wrestling junkies out there, did not forget about you on Brett Martineau's day off. We got Cody Rhodes calling in at 4 o'clock, everybody. So if you're an AEW fan, if you're a wrestling fan, a lot of news right now in terms of this weekend with AEW Revolution coming up. I got Cody Rhodes on. We're going to talk about it, all of it. So stay tuned for that as well. But let's get back to real quick Todd McShay's mock draft here. And I mentioned it. Pick number 25. And Christian Barmore has been kind of a consensus in terms of that's who everyone's talking about the Jaguars taking, which makes a lot of sense. Interior defensive line, a guy, and keep in mind this too, and this doesn't get talked about enough. Charlie Strong, Urban Meyer's right-hand man, right? The number 2, if you will, of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Defensive-minded guy, linebackers coach. And you get the sense that he wants to parlay this situation here in Jacksonville and hopefully work himself up to maybe a head coaching spot one day. Urban Meyer values Charlie Strong big time. And I think Charlie Strong is a great guy. I think that he fits kind of like that Urban Meyer mentality, that work hard mentality. But the thing with Charlie Strong you have to remember is where he came from before he got to Jacksonville. And that was Alabama, where he was a defensive analyst. Well, who is mocked to go to the Jacksonville Jaguars more than anybody, it seems like? Christian Barmore. If anybody knows who Christian Barmore is, it's Charlie Strong. That is a supreme advantage to have right now on your team in the Jacksonville Jaguars. Because all I'm going to say is this. If Christian Barmore goes number 25, I'm not going to be upset about it. I've spoken on this many times. I think a guy who kind of starts to show his true abilities towards the end of the season as opposed to showing in the beginning of the season and then falling off, I would rather have the guy that's peaking at the end and not peaking in the beginning. But nevertheless, if Christian Barmore is drafted at pick number 25, well, Charlie Strong obviously vouched for him. And that's all I need to know, right? Because let's be honest here. And obviously the Doyle conversation comes into play here. But besides that, the coaches that have been hired, you trust Urban Meyer. When it comes to the X's and O's of football, whether it's Joe Cullen, whether it's Schottenheimer, you trust the guys that Urban Meyer has surrounded, that has surrounded himself with. And one of those guys being Charlie Strong, who knows Christian Barmore better than anybody. So all I'm trying to say is if pick 25 comes up and the Jaguars fill a need and they say, you know what, we're taking Christian Barmore, then you should trust that decision because they've done their due diligence. In a year that is different, in a year that you really have no combine, you can't see Barmore next to other defensive tackles, all you have to go off of is coaches' evaluations and things like that. I would trust Strong, and I would trust Meyer. But Todd McShay actually has another guy that's been kind of labeled to go to the Jaguars, Trevon Moehrig, who I also like, who can also play both safety positions, who I think when you switch to a 3-4 defense, you need to address the safety spot. So I'm not mad at that pick at all either. But to me, it's going to be very telling. Is Trevon Moehrig going to be there? I'm not sure. I think he goes sooner. I think Christian Barmore is going to be there. I don't think even McShay has Barmore necessarily in the first round right now. If it is the first round, it's going to be towards the later end of it. But you cannot deny that having Charlie Strong here is a huge advantage compared to 31 other teams right now in this league because he knows Christian Barmore in and out. And you better believe Urban Meyer and that Jaguars defensive staff is going to do their due diligence. They're going to vet Charlie Strong about him, and they're going to have their decision. So if they don't pick Barmore in the first round, it tells you all you need to know about Barmore right there. Hopefully we got Cody Rhodes coming back when we come back here on ESPN 690.
It's been 6 months since my wife leased her new Cadillac from Fields Auto Group, and she absolutely loves it. It's our first experience with Fields, and it's been terrific. They say you can step up to luxury for less And we did. Not just a luxury Cadillac XT6. The car is beautiful, but the customer service is extra special too. It was like that at Fields Cadillac Jacksonville, and it will be like that at any of the Fields locations in Jacksonville. Cadillac, of course, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche as well. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. We are now part of that Fields Amenities program, and my wife tried the loaner program. It was easy and a nice added benefit. So whatever you're driving, see Fields and step up to luxury for less. Check out their locations all around Jacksonville, just like we did. You can go visit fieldsauto.com.
Beard's Diamond's most exciting offer is back for a limited time.
0% financing for 5 years. Plus, get zero down.
It's the sale smart jewelry shoppers wait for.
You get Beard's already low prices.
But then you get to spread your payments out for 60 months with no money down.
But hurry, this incredible finance opportunity won't last long.
How about a $6,000 Decory or Veragio ring?
You pay just $100 a month.
Or a pair of $3,000 stud earrings.
You pay just $50 a month.
And every purchase at Beard's Diamonds is backed by our free lifetime warranty.
Now's the time to get her that designer setting she's been dreaming about and spread your payments out for 5 years.
Find your total price by 60, and that's all you'll pay per month.
Don't miss out on the best deal of the year. 0% financing for 5 years. Plus, get zero down on everything in the store.
Beard's Diamonds at the St. John's Town Center or at beardsdiamonds.com.
Get the lowest prices in Jacksonville guaranteed at Beard's Diamonds.
Home Builders Institute is a national leader for career training in the building industry and provides students the skills and experience they need for successful careers. HBI training programs are taught in local communities across the country to youth, veterans, displaced workers, and other underserved populations. These programs do more than just provide job skills. They also build character and self-esteem, helping to provide students with the skills they need to succeed on the job and in life. Learn more at hbi.org.
We all know what the most important meal of the day is, and now it's the most awesome. Moe's Southwest Grill St. Augustine is now serving up breakfast burritos and bowls in their drive-thru. The fluffy egg, shredded cheese, grilled steak and chicken, and salsa if you choose. They're all available in the AM, so you can swing by the Moe's drive-thru on your way to work. No more cold cereal and oatmeal at your desk, just convenient breakfasty goodness. Get ready to be the coolest kid at the office. Welcome to Moe's.
Though no longer little, teens still need a lot of love. Yet teens in foster care have a harder time finding it, as 82% of foster families are home to kids 12 or younger. You can positively impact a teen's life as a foster parent. With help from Family Support Services of North Florida, you provide patience, love, and understanding, and Family Support Services will offer specialized training, resources, and a community of support. Take the next step at foster-now.org. That's foster-now.org.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Sure thing. We can help you replace those wipers. If yours are squeaking or streaking, it's probably time. We've got a wide selection of wipers that can stand up to any weather, including the right ones for your make and model. We've even got more ways to get them fast, like our next day delivery or free same-day store pickup. Getting the job done just got easier. Restrictions apply.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
It's time for some straight talk. Your tax return could look different this year, but you're still going to hear a lot of noise about how to spend it. So when the big carriers tell you to splurge on the latest nonsense, just tune it out. With Straight Talk, you can get a Samsung Galaxy A51 for just $199. Plus, get the $45 unlimited talk, text, and data plan with no contract on America's best networks for up to 50% less. Tune out the nonsense and tune into Straight Talk. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
The Max Kellerman Show.
The Nets started out the season without James Harden, who's their second best player, and then have played recently without Kevin Durant, who's their best player. Also, when Kyrie joined the team, he and Harden had to figure things out. There was an adjustment period. And so the Nets' record does not reflect, their entire record does not reflect the team they've become.
The Max Kellerman Show, weekdays at 2 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Watch exclusively on ESPN+.
Player of the Year is now a free agent by his request. The Washington football team cuts quarterback Alex Smith, which will save the team almost $15 million against the salary cap. Smith had 2 years left on his deal. He made a stunning recovery from a broken right leg back in 2018. A report released today shows former LSU athletic director Joe Oliva recommended then football coach Les Miles should be fired after accusations of inappropriate behavior with female students. Kenny Jacoby from USA Today.
Instead, they essentially swept the thing under the rug, didn't tell the public about it, gave him a private letter of reprimand and made him attend counseling.
Kenny Jacoby on the Paul Feinbaum Show. Miles is now the coach at Kansas and continues to deny the allegations. The Pistons buy out Blake Griffin, who's now a free agent. Griffin, a 6-time All-Star, was in Detroit for 3 years. According to Adrian Wojnarowski, the Nets, Warriors, Heat, and Trailblazers are interested.
Do you own or rent your home? Sure you do. Fortunately, Geico makes it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. It's a good thing, too, because having a home is hard work. Go to geico.com, get a quote, and see how much you could save. Geico.com. Easy.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station. Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
Yeah, here he was with Cody Rhodes last night, AEW. Shaq, I was impressed.
I told you,
oh,
never challenge me to a fight.
I gotta
come in a fight.
Shaq, I told you that I was very impressed. You were awesome.
Well, you were throwing him around like ragdoll.
How about this right here, though?
It's all real, America.
My goodness.
It's all real, America.
Hey, what's this? What's that little move?
Well, I just had to, tap him, make sure he was okay.
Oh, okay. All right.
Why
you knocked out? Were you knocked out? Wow.
I was fine.
Yeah.
Shaquille O'Neal making his AEW wrestling debut this past Wednesday on Dynamite. Kuz, you know how I felt about it, man. I thought it was awesome. I was skeptical, all right? I was one of the skeptics. Can Shaq pull it off? I think he absolutely did. Big weekend AEW Revolution this Sunday. And we're joined now by a man that just took on Shaq in the ring. First time in AEW, that took those slaps that almost busted my speakers, per se. We are joined right now. We're glad to be joined by him. An Executive Vice AEW President, wrestler himself, Mr. Cody Rhodes. Cody, how we doing today, man?
I'm doing. I think I'm doing better than Shaq after I sent him through those two tables. But I'm doing really good. I love being in Jacksonville on these longer loops with the Dynamite and then going to the Revolution pay-per-view, and it's a good feeling down here.
Well, and Cody, you mentioned it was Shaq. I was skeptical because I feel like sometimes in professional wrestling you run the risk of kind of losing that hardcore audience a little bit because it can be gimmicky. And that Shaquille O'Neal match was anything but gimmicky. I thought it was a great showcase of his talents. I thought that it showcased Jade Cargill very well in Red Velvet. I mean, that was overall, I think, the perfect match for Shaq. My question to you, though, how did those slaps feel? Because they literally almost burst my speakers in my house, man, with surround sound.
We get those big hands and those overhead chops. The only comparison I would have is Paul White, formerly the Big Show, or even the Great Khali. But I've never seen hands like Shaq's, and if I was, I think maybe I might have been planning on taking a few more, and then after I felt that first one, absolutely not. That's this most pain I've ever felt on a chop, to the point where if you lower your chin enough on anything like a chop and you get touched by those fingers, it can knock you right out. So I was lucky. I survived. I still do have a handprint, though. It's got a little itch to it. But, yeah, so I've got a battle wound from the big man.
Cody, obviously with Shaq, being essentially transported in the ambulance, and then assumingly he just gets up and walks out and is nowhere to be seen, it obviously leaves it open-ended. And do you think Shaq is a guy that wants to step back in the ring? Would you like to face him again? Do you think that he's good for the business and kind of the cross promotion?
Oh, absolutely, and I know people were plenty skeptical, and you know I understand why. I'm part of the hardcore audience myself. I love pure wrestling as it is, but I love doing things that have a hook to them and have a sizzle to them to help drive to the pure wrestling. The same show that Shaquille O'Neal was on was a show featuring Tully Blanchard, and I'm always surprised when people doubt me. You know, I don't mean to sound braggadocious, but I don't go into anything without a game plan, without being extremely organized. And I assumed a lot of responsibility with a completely new talent in Jade, a pretty untested talent in Red Velvet, and then Shaq, who's not a wrestler. But I'll say after it was over, I can tell you he's got the bug. And that's what it happens. I've seen it happen to older wrestlers. I've seen it happen to people coming for the first time. Stephen Amell, very similar situation. He's got the bug. To me, the one thing I did tell him, we didn't converse much, but I said, I think you're a wrestler now. And I really mean that. I'd love to have him back. There's obviously matches that people want to see. He takes the training very seriously. And that's all good for us to, you know, Shaq brings different eyes to our product, and perhaps those eyes stay and see some of the pure wrestling that our hardcore audience and that our owner and founder, Tony Khan, loves so much himself.
Cody, I have to ask you this, you know, because I'm a former Jaguars player. I know Tony Khan pretty well, and I know the people behind the scenes at AEW, and they all say the same thing about what you guys are doing right now. It's the fact that everybody in that business seems to be happy, right? And sometimes, especially in professional wrestling, that can be hard to come by. You always hear the rumors that so-and-so's not happy with this or this, but like you get the sense that you guys are like one big family, and I know you use that adjective a lot in describing AEW, but what is it that it seems like everyone's on the same page, everyone's getting along? What do you attribute to that at AEW?
Well, I think the reason that there's a lack of the term we use in the business is boo-boo face. You know, these individuals walking around who are miserable and don't like what their creative is, or don't like even the fact that they traveled. We've got, I mean, almost non-existent, such a low percentage of that. And we do have this team environment. And I've been in a myriad of locker rooms since I was a little kid. I've never felt a team environment like this before. And I think what drives us and what bonds us is twofold. The fact that we're doing something, we're competing with a juggernaut in the industry that's been doing this for 40 years. We're this startup that could, and that really bonds us in a way that it is truly one team, where I've not seen that in wrestling. And then in addition to that, it's a very transparent company. I'm really quick to say, you know, I don't like that. And hey, but I like this. There's no stabbing in the back. If anything, it's wrestling. You might as well stab each other in the front. And there's a real honor to this place. And I'm so lucky to be at the highest level here and part of management, coming in on the, at the very bottom floor, and helping build this with Tony and the other EVPs and all the great personnel we have. But that looming monster over our shoulder that is, our competitor in the space makes us just work so much harder. And that's why our content's the best wrestling content on TV, bar none.
Talking to AEW's Cody Rhodes, and Cody, you mentioned it, the competition. And, there's rumors circulating right now, and I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask you the question. I understand you're a wrestler, but you're also a businessman. And your competitor right now, every Wednesday, is rumored to be going maybe to Tuesday or another time slot. How do you feel about that? Like, do you feel like you'd rather go to war with the other brands, or do you just want to have Wednesday by yourself to showcase what you guys truly do?
That's a great question. I think my answer changes a lot. There was a fun nature to the Wednesday Night War that plenty of people took very seriously. But if we're being honest, and again, not trying to sound braggadocious, this is just a run through. I mean, we have destroyed them for over a year now in that space, and them leaving, perhaps that opens up a different viewership for us on Wednesdays. But we're not reactionary to their booking. We're not going to change anything we do with what they decide to do on Wednesdays or not. And also, there's a lot of smart people who work for WWE, and perhaps they're planning something else. Maybe it's going to be Wednesday Night Raw, for all I know. I'm not assuming that their white flag on moving to Tuesday nights is a true white flag. I'm going to kind of wait and see myself. And in the interim, all we're going to do is continue to come up with good content, great stories, and try to make new kings and queens on our roster. You'd be surprised if you're ever backstage at AEW. No one's talking about our competition as far as how it affects our job that night. We're talking about how much we love or are excited to do what we're about to do, and that won't change.
Cody, got a few more questions for you, man. Then we're going to let you go. We appreciate your time. You mentioned Paul White, and obviously it's a huge signing. I think he even got lost a little bit with the Shaq news that he's wrestling, but Paul White is a major get. And I love the fact that he's going to be doing commentary. I think he's going to kill it. I can't wait to see what he's got planned going forward. With that being said, I'm reminded of when you and him had your WrestleMania debut, like your match. And, it seemed like he's helped you out a lot, and you're the executive vice president of AEW. Like, did it almost come full circle? Did it seem like a little bit where, I guess the question is, how much were you on the inside of those dealings with Paul White? Like, did you kind of coax him to come on over to AEW? Did he already want to? And what did it mean to sign him to the brand?
I'm typically one of the first people that people reach out to because we shared locker rooms together, and if they're curious, and I'm never afraid to just chat with somebody and see where they're at mentally. With him, that's one of the main giveaways. I know how motivated he is because there wasn't really much negotiation. He talked to me, and then he moved on to talking to Tony Khan, and they were quite a match. And his benefits that he provides to the locker room are endless, essentially. And that lack of negotiation tells me he's very hungry, and he wants to be part of this, and he wants to be part of this now, almost if it's an emotional decision. And full circle is a great way to put it because people who followed my career will know that I was not happy with what happened with my rivalry with Big Show and where it led to at a WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Creatively, it's actually the beginning of my downfall at the company. But the part they didn't see was the 3 to 4 months where I was basically married to this giant on these live events. And there's only a few people I ever learned as much from. It was so valuable to me. And then I see him already talking to guys backstage, and I can see his sincerity and know like they're going to learn so much from Paul. And I really can't wait to see him go because the attraction that is that man and that giant and his athletic ability, it truly is an attraction. It's a head turner, and I can't wait to see him in an AEW ring and in front of our fans. I know he'll feel it like he's never felt it before.
And speaking of Paul White, and once again, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask the question. I don't expect you to break any news right now on our show, but he did mention there's going to be a big signing, right? It's been the talk of Twitter. There's been conspiracy theories. There's videos all over online. Only question to you. Are you in on this? Do you know what's about to happen right now? And I guess what are your thoughts about it? Obviously not sharing who it's going to be.
I'm really confident. I always try to appear confident in front of the locker room and things of that nature. But I will say I'm newly in on it.
Okay.
This was something that Tony had kept close to the chest, which when you're the executive vice president scares the hell out of you. And and that's okay. I know why he kept it close to the chest. He loves to see us surprised, and this is a great surprise. I don't want to by no means spoil it, but I'll say it's somebody that was very helpful to me and very helpful to many who surrounded me, beloved in locker rooms the world over. And I don't think he's the only surprise on Sunday at Revolution. I think there's multiple surprises. So I'm glad I'm in on everything now. I can act like I know what the hell's going on. But, yeah, Tony Tony keeps making moves. Tony loves AEW. He loves Jacksonville, which is why, as you guys know, we're in Daly's place until Tony says we're going to move. And I think he loves the fact that this kind of Florida territory is a byproduct of the pandemic, and he's going to provide something great on Sunday.
Talking to AEW's Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes, 2 more quick questions for you, man, then we're going to let you go. Real quick, you mentioned it. AEW Revolution. You're taking part in the Face of the Revolution ladder match. Talk about the mindset that you go through, because every match is different, but you can expect when it's going to be a ladder match versus some fierce competitors, you can expect that you kind of have to go to a place that you're not accustomed to going sometimes. And you know, the bumps and the spots can be very high risk and reward, especially in a ladder match. Do you prepare differently knowing a ladder match is coming up from a traditional match?
I think the only way you can prepare a little bit differently for ladder matches, you have to be prepared to pick those ladders up, and you have to be prepared to be hit with or put on those ladders, because they're like your first time with chairs and tables. You think there's something, and then you pick them up, and my gosh, they're heavy. And I had this match is completely, I consider myself the face of the revolution, and I've considered that since All In. I've been so lucky to have fans support me in that effort and wanting to do the work and keep it going. But I'll say this match is not a match that's good for me. I don't know how many Money in the Banks I lost. It felt like 50. It means something about climbing, and this time it's a literal brass ring. Something about that just hasn't behooved me in the past. But of the guys I'm in there with, there's one being unknown. I feel like my experience in this case will actually help me considerably secure the brass ring and then move on to face Darby for the TNT Championship and go for the 3rd TNT title run.
I like it. Last question, obviously, congratulations in order. Congratulations on, the announcement of you're going to become a father. That's fantastic news, man. Take it from a father himself. It's the best job you're ever going to have. Obviously, wrestling is big in your family, and you've grown up around it. Do you plan on, bringing your daughter around it as well? I mean, is she going to be there for the journey, or are you going to kind of let her find her own way with professional wrestling?
Somebody asked the best question the other day. It's very similar to what you just asked about, because I've always said I was going to retire at 40. And they said, well, don't you want her to see what you do?
Yeah.
And now, as I think about that, I'm like, you choked up thinking about it. I really do, and I don't want them to have to look back. So I will definitely bring them around the industry. I've always been very proud of the industry. It's one of those, where you can't fight who you are. And I'm a wrestler, and that's, Go Big Show on Thursday, and the new stuff that's happening in my career is all thanks to wrestling. So I'll bring them around it, and that's the problem. When you bring kids around it and they see that job, they're not going to want to do anything else. And women's wrestling has become it's really just sunk its way into everyone's heart as of late, and it will continue to do so. So perhaps, and her mom will be the same way. We're proud of what we do. So I'd love to have her around and see and make her own call on what she wants to be.
AEW Revolution this Sunday. Cody, we appreciate you coming on the show, taking some time for us. Best of luck this Sunday, man.
Thank you so much, buddy.
All right. That's Cody Rhodes, man. One of the best in the business. Knows what he's doing, not only from a wrestling standpoint, but also a business standpoint. I think Tony Khan made the right decision when he brought Cody Rhodes on board as an executive vice president. I can tell story after story of the type of dude that Cody Rhodes is. That he's been to my friends, that I met him personally at a book signing, and the way he was to my son. Nothing but respect for that dude, and I wish him success and nothing less when it comes to Cody Rhodes. Just a class act. And check him out this Sunday, AEW Revolution. We're going to change up gears a little bit. We got more football talk, a little UFC talk coming up later on in the show here on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Partly sunny today, highs around 70, dropping into the mid to upper 40s tonight. Join me beginning at 5 p.m. for CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jax from the First Alert Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds, where right now you can get 5 years, 0-interest financing with nothing down.
The Players' Championship is almost here. Northeast Florida's event of the year is going to look a little different this year with reduced on-site capacity, but that hasn't stopped the tournament from continuing its long-standing tradition of kicking off tournament week with military appreciation celebrations. On Tuesday, March 9th, the Players is launching a day-long campaign to generate support and awareness for military organizations in our community. Organizations like Canines for Warriors, Fire Watch, Greater Jacksonville Area USO, Wounded Warrior Project, Operation New Uniform, and so many others. The campaign is called Match for Military, and the tournament has committed to match dollar for dollar all donations up to $250,000. Let's show the military members, veterans, and their families who live here in Northeast Florida that we always have their backs. Get ready to make your donation once Match for Military goes live on Tuesday, March 9th. Join us in being champions for our military. Learn more at theplayers.com.
Love is not supposed to hurt. Domestic violence is about power and control. It's a choice made by the abuser. COVID-19 may have separated us, but we're here to help. If you know of someone who needs to talk, please call the Florida Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-500-1119. Trained advocates are available to provide support. This message is sponsored by the Florida Department of Health, the Florida Department of Children and Families, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station.
As we go through life, many times we try to plan and prepare for every possibility, thinking about our future, thinking about our families. But many times in life, we're hit by surprise, sometimes great ones and sometimes terrible ones, even tragedies. I have found that most of our clients never thought about who they should call if they were injured. I wouldn't either. What's your plan? I hope you never need us, but if you do, know that we'll be there for you. There's only one Morgan & Morgan. Dial pound law on your cell.
Offices, Jacksonville.
An essential part of starting and running a business is managing cash flow. This involves not just generating sales revenue, but also securing financing, handling expenses, and ensuring there is working capital in order to reinvest. At SCORE, we offer advice and can direct you to resources to help address these issues. Since 1964, SCORE has helped more than 11 million entrepreneurs and small business owners. We provide free one-on-one mentoring, a library of online information, and a series of timely webinars. Go to jacksonville.score.org to see how we can assist you today.
In Florida, it's not if the storms are coming, it's when the storms are coming. And that's why you need the Chief. Jacksonville's chief meteorologist, Mike Burrish, with a proven track record of keeping local families safe. Rain, heat, hurricanes, flooding, tornadoes. We get it all. Just more reasons why you need the Chief. Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish, backed by the First Alert Weather Team. Only on CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jax.
I should have my kid tell you about Jumpin' Jack's House of Food. It's Ty's favorite burger in town. Make it one of your favorites as well. Jumpin' Jack's House of Food has 3 locations now: Atlantic Beach, Mandarin, and downtown Jacksonville. Change your life burgers. But they have salads, pizza, and much more on the menu, too. Let Jumpin' Jack's House of Food be your great neighbor. Lunch or dinner with the family, or they will cater parties from 200 to 500 people. Jumpin' Jack's, HOF.com for online ordering. Jumpin' Jack's House of Food, open 7 days a week.
For the ones who know safety isn't a catchphrase, it's a culture. And the ones who help make sure everyone makes it home safe. For the safety-minded who watch everyone's backs, Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, as well as safety assessments and training to keep your facilities safe and your people safer. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Saying goodbye to a loved one is never easy. Hi, I'm Larry Self, owner of The Casket Store. For the past 20 years, we've been helping people create the perfect cemetery headstone. Our process is simple, no pressure, and our prices are surprisingly low. We install headstones, bronze markers, and upright monuments in any cemetery in the Southeast. We also offer bronze plaques for churches and schools. For more information and to see our work, please visit us at thecasketstore.com.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
Welcome into the show, a name you know. If you've been listening and watching ESPN for a long time, I know you know him. We're going to call him one of the forefathers, if you will, of sports radio, Mike Greenberg.
Thank you. Forefathers is an interesting, that's fascinating. Every day as I talk to more people, I get older and older. So that's kind of funny.
Listen weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. in your car or stream them. ESPN690.com.
Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, and Zubin Mahente.
Where do the Knicks have to finish to get into the mix for an A-list free agent, a Booker, or somebody else?
If they make the playoffs and they show trajectory heading in the right direction, man, it's nothing like playing in a city with energy.
I mean, they're doing everything right. They're trending in the right direction. You can't say they're not.
Keyshawn, Jay, Will, and Zubin. Weekday mornings at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio or streaming live on the ESPN app.
Brent Martineau.
The freaking Jacksonville Jaguars are 14-12 all-time against one of the best organizations, quite frankly, in all of sports.
Austin Lane.
Get him, Brent. Get him, Brent.
Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
I'm not going for this Utah Jazz slander right now.
Me neither,
Come on, man.
I'm not going for the Utah Jazz
They got the best record in the NBA, and they two best players in the last two standing.
I'm not going for
slander. This is slander, America.
Best halftime show in the business. We're on the cusp of another NBA All-Star weekend. It's going to be a little different this year, though, obviously. Taking place in Atlanta, if I'm not mistaken, right, Coos?
Yes.
It's correct. Nice.
But they don't want people traveling there.
Of course, of course. Usually All-Star weekends are big for parties and stuff like that, but obviously this year it's probably going to look a little different. But before we get into the NBA talk, a couple little tidbits around the NFL right now. This is a big one in terms of Jaguars news, per se. Broncos placing franchise tag on safety Justin Simmons, which means free agency and the safety position just took a knock, right? Because we're all Justin Simmons fans. Probably the best safety in terms of free agency, but he gets franchise tagged. More than likely going to stay in Denver unless somebody trades for him. But let's be honest, I think he's going to stay in Denver now. So that's a little hurt for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Nothing really that big, but it was definitely a name that was on the radar for Jaguars fans, to say the least. So Justin Simmons going to remain a Denver Bronco. The Bills signed Micah Hyde, safety, to a 2-year extension. And then the Chargers are actively shopping former Pro Bowl guard Trey Turner. Per source, it looks like he's going to be traded or released in the near future. He's due $11.5 million this season. Doesn't do much for Jaguars fans, obviously. I think the guard position right now, depending on Andrew Norwell and what you believe, there's some rumors saying that the Jaguars might ship him. But right now, where it stands, I don't think Trey Turner is going to be a Jacksonville Jaguar anytime soon. And then the Washington football team makes it official. That Alex Smith has asked for his release, and they're going to grant him that. Listen, I can sit here and break it down because I felt like we did that like last week, and it would be Groundhog's Day. You know how I feel about Alex Smith. Can he help Trevor Lawrence? Absolutely. Is he worth the price of maybe a $7, $8, $9 million? I don't think so. I think that if you truly believe that bringing a backup quarterback to help Trevor Lawrence is going to make the world a difference, then you're not buying into Trevor Lawrence at all. Just like Joe Burrow last year or Justin Herbert, I feel like if you have the skill set, if you have the talent, you're going to shine no matter what. And keep in mind, you have Urban Meyer, who seems to be pretty quarterback friendly, and you have Gardner Minshew on a rookie deal. Now, how much he can offer in the coach's room, how much he can offer on the sidelines as a backup remains to be seen from the mental standpoint of helping Trevor Lawrence out. But all I know is, I'm going to knock on the biggest piece of wood here, is if Trevor Lawrence was to go out for any type of period of time, you at least feel comfortable with Gardner Minshew as your starting quarterback. But let's be honest, it's the NFL. If your starting quarterback takes over, you're probably not going to the playoffs, or you're not going to make a big run in the playoffs, unless your name is Nick Foles. And we saw that was a flash in a pan and an outlier because now he's in Chicago sitting behind Mitchell Trubisky. With that being said, though, Kuz, back to the NBA talk. And first of all, an apology's in order. All right. Listen, growing up as a kid, sometimes I was taught that you have to admit when you're wrong. You have to admit when you've made a mistake. So, Kuz, I sit here 3/5/2021, and I just want to apologize for any slander that I threw at TJ McConnell. I want to apologize for, maybe some of the crap that I talked about TJ McConnell, some of the jokes that I had about TJ McConnell, and it's a shame you weren't here yesterday because we talked about it a little bit.
Yeah.
But TJ McConnell, and this would have been 3 days ago now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did probably the most extra thing you could ever do in the NBA. Now, do I mean that as a sign of respect? Yes and no. But believe me when I say he did the most extra thing in the NBA when he posted a triple-double, but he added to the steals category and had 10 steals. Kuz, the floor is now yours.
Yeah, man. I mean, that is phenomenal. Like I said, the reason I like TJ so much is the very first game I ever went to see of the 76ers. He used to be on the 76ers. That's where I started watching him play.
Yeah.
Obviously, I didn't watch much college of him, but when he was on the Sixers...
Do you know where did he go to college?
Oh, shoot.
I'll go ahead and Google that.
Yeah.
Don't let me slow you down when you keep talking, man. I'm sorry.
Well, so it was down in Orlando, and I was excited because it was going to be the first game that Embiid was supposed to play, but it was a back-to-back, so Embiid didn't play, which is, I guess the counter-argument to players getting rest,
Sure.
And so it was the TJ McConnell show, essentially, and he hit a game winner. And I was just like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And so ever since that, I've always just been a fan of TJ McConnell. And then obviously we had a conversation, and me saying TJ McConnell was a star to Sixers fans took a life of its own and kind of became a thing for the show.
Yeah.
But yeah, excited to see. I mean, with Oladipo getting traded, obviously they were going to ask a little bit more of him. And
yeah. He's
been playing decently. And, just obviously when you get 10 steals, that's going to...
Well,
people are going to take notice.
And I'll be honest. I mean, listen, I have nothing against TJ McConnell. I just like joking about it all the time. But, I was always surprised that he left Philly because, he seemed to be, the embodiment of the 76ers. Kind of gritty, tough, kind of like what Philly reminds you of.
He's in general, he's just that guy that, when you see him on the court, just because everybody's so big, you're kind of
let's be honest. He's not getting picked even second or third or fourth in the YMCA if you're picking teams.
And so, he seems like the average dude out there and obviously just works so hard. So it's exciting.
And I'm going to be honest here. So I looked up where he went to college, and that was a huge mistake because he went to two places. Arizona was his last visit. But before that, he went to this school, and I've seen this name many times, and I can't pronounce it. It's Duquesne. I'm sorry, Uesne. It's like Dequenis, Kuz?
Oh,
yeah, I know. I totally put myself on the spot. I totally buried myself. That's my mistake.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like Dequenis or something. I've seen the name before. I just can't pronounce it.
Okay.
Take my word for it. But he also went to Arizona. So you've had your time on the show now, Kuz. I'm glad you're happy. But it begs the question, can he keep the momentum going? Or is this kind of a flash in the pan? Because I'll be honest with you, Kuz, I'm looking at his numbers from last night, and we're back down to mediocrityville, okay?
What are the minutes played, though?
I mean, you really want me to do the work right now?
That's what I'm curious about. If
you really want me to do the work right?
If he played way less, then...
I'm just saying, I think it's going to go the way you think it's not going to go. But just 1 second. Let me look up the box score real quick from TJ McConnell last night. If you want to play the Rocky music, we can. We can do the TJ McConnell box score breakdown if you truly want to. I'm just saying, you may not like the numbers from last night. Looking them up right now. Kuz is on the phone. Obviously distracted.
Duquesne is the school's name.
Duquesne. Oh, somebody called in?
South Beach got us. Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Gary. Duquesne.
Yeah.
Way too many S's, way too many Q's, and way too many vowels. I think it's Dequenis, but whatever. With that being said, Kuz, TJ McConnell box score breakdown from last night. 29 minutes played. Is that a lot?
That's a good amount, yeah.
You're the NBA expert.
That's a good amount, yeah.
Okay. 5 for 9 from the field goal percentage.
Okay.
5 rebounds, 4 assists, 10 points.
That's about right.
It's a diet night, though, huh? It's a diet night to go from a triple-double from just dropping 10. I mean, what are we talking about here, Goose?
Yes, it is not 10 steals.
It never is. Okay, so then you mentioned it, too. All-Star Weekend, right? It's going to be different. And how many times have we heard the phrase, it's going to be different? The Combine, it's going to be different because of COVID-19. NFL season, it's going to be different. Well, the All-Star Game is going to be different as well. Mm-hmm. What are you looking for in the All-Star Game? I understand that the Utah Jazz are a little peeved right now because both of them got picked last. They're like the kids in gym class that nobody wanted.
Well, I mean, if you're the best team record-wise in the NBA, you would think the 2 players on that team would get picked.
Well, sir, I didn't say I agree with it.
Okay.
I'm just stating hey, don't jump on my head right now. I didn't say it was right. I think it's wrong as well. I think when you have the best record in the NBA, I think one of those guys at least deserves to be a starter. Don't get me wrong. How do you feel about the All-Star game? What can we look for? Dunk competition, three-point competition, obviously the game itself. What are you watching, man?
Yeah, I mean, I think the game itself is kind of exciting. Last year was the first time that they tried this situation where it's like each quarter you can get a winner, and that'll go towards a charity each quarter. And then kind of like the slate's wiped clean for the fourth quarter, and then it's like win by 5 or 6. I think they have to win by a certain amount of points.
Yeah.
And so it was really exciting 2 years ago, I should say. Was it 2 years ago or last year? I think it happened before the pandemic. So it would have been last year, but it was a good change of pace, the game itself. I just wonder how many players are going to be bought in this year because they didn't want this.
Yeah.
And so
But it's still like, so here's the thing about it though, Kuz. It's still for charity, right? Like,
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
so
you know,
like,
when you throw the whole charity thing into the mix.
Yeah. You know, honestly, once the narrative was the NBA announced that the All-Star break stuff was happening. You had some players come out and say they weren't excited for it, didn't want it. LeBron was vocal.
Yeah.
And then the NBA was like, yeah, but it's for charity. And then everyone kind of went hush-hush. You know what I mean? Like,
sure.
It kind of was like, okay, well, yeah, we'll play. And I also think they get fined if they don't play. So
okay,
I think, you know, it'll be a fun weekend to watch. Again, am I excited for the dunk contest? I haven't been excited for a dunk contest in a while.
True. Do we know who are the competitors even in the dunk contest? I mean,
Obi Toppin was one of them from the Knicks. I don't remember hearing any other announcements, which kind of shows the excitement level of that.
True.
So, you know, at the end of the day, it's for the All-Star game to see it, and I know a lot of players are excited for a little bit of a break, at least to kind of refresh and start, you know, the second half of the season. So Sunday will be nice. We are airing it here on ESPN 690. I believe the game starts at 8.
Yeah.
I believe our coverage starts at 7 or 7:30. So
I think the three-point contest could be interesting. You got Devin Booker, Jaylen Brown, Steph Curry, Zach Levine,
Yep.
Donovan Mitchell, Jason Tatum. Like, I'll tune in and watch that.
Yeah, I've just never been excited for the three-point contest.
Do you mean to tell me you haven't watched the Larry Bird highlights from back in the day? And no, I hear you. I mean, listen, I understand, but it's still seeing Steph Curry do his thing.
Like, I honestly think the skills competition is more exciting to watch. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even know if they're doing that this year. I haven't even checked, but
they are doing it. I'm glad you asked, Kuz. I got it right here. Robert Covington.
Okay.
Luka Doncic.
Okay.
Chris Paul, who's been doing it forever. It seems like
for sure.
Julius Randle, Domantas Sabonis.
Yeah.
Feels like I got through that one, and then Vujicic or whatever from Orlando. Vooch. Yeah, Vooch. Just call him
Just
Vooch.
say Vooch.
I know.
It's
Sorry.
easier.
Vooch. Yeah. Nikola Vooch.
Yeah, Nikola Vucevic.
Vukovic.
Now you got me thinking.
Vukovic, because it's not it's Vic. I'm pretty sure it's Vic.
Whatever.
But anyways, maybe South Beach Gary can call us and correct us as well.
I mean, he is the Magic's best player right now.
No, he is. And then for the dunk contest, we got Anthony Simmons, Cassius Stanley, and Obi Toppin. It's only 3 people in the dunk contest.
I'm probably trying to keep it lower. I mean,
yeah. So here's how I feel about the dunk contest, Kuz. In the past, I mean, let's be honest. It's never going to be like it once was with Michael Jordan and like the heavy hitters, Dominique Wilkins. Like there was a time when the best of the best were doing the dunk contest.
But even if you go back to when
Vince Carter,
when like Nate Robinson and Dwight Howard were doing it, like that was still entertaining.
Well, even Aaron Gordon and then
Aaron Gordon was a good one. But even then, before that, nobody was really like excited for it. And then they kind of got like rejuvenized a little bit.
Sure. And granted, at the time, like Aaron Gordon and Zach LaVine, like they weren't necessarily the household names. Now I think they've kind of played their way up and they're pretty popular in terms of NBA status. But I'll be honest with you, man. I don't know a lot about Anthony Simmons, Cassius Stanley, and Obi Toppin. I really don't know that much at all.
Well, and maybe that's why and what the dunk contest can be now. It can be the younger guys who maybe you don't know yet, who are a potential rising star.
Yeah.
You know, and then you can.
See, I guess just where my whole mindset changes, though, Kuz, is the fact, like, you know, when you have YouTube and social media, like, you can find dunks anywhere now, right? Like, when it was back like with Vince Carter going between the legs and doing the honey dip, like, you never saw that before. Like, that was revolutionary. But even with, like, Aaron Gordon doing his thing, you know, like going between both legs and stuff like that, like, that was new. But now I just feel like it's a little saturated, it's a little watered down, and it's with players that we have no idea who they are. So it's super hard to get invested. Now, I'm not going to take anything away from Anthony Simmons, Cassius Stanley, and Obi Toppin because they might come out and knock our socks off. But I'm just saying, to get me to that point, especially on a Sunday when AEW is going to be taking place, it's hard to come along with it. So we'll see. I'll probably check it out. If not, I'll watch the highlights. But, I'm watching AEW this weekend as well. We got more coming up here on ESPN 690, including a giant, massive UFC card that needs to be broken down. Also, we got interviews with Dawuane Smoot coming up with Marcel Robinson. I did a little one-on-one interview with him. And we got Ricky Carmichael talking to Stuart Weber. Got that interview as well. More here on ESPN 690 when we come back.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
Happy Friday. I'm Jake Mitchell. The Steel City is saving a ton of cap space thanks to Big Ben. The veteran QB restructured his deal to save the team $15 million and to take a personal pay cut of $5 million this year. Here's Dan Orlovsky, ESPN NFL analyst, who thinks that still might not be enough.
What's next is one, fix the offensive line. It's like Villanueva, their left tackle, free agent. Banner, free agent. Pouncey, done. DeCastro's expensive. So, they better fix the offensive line before anything, and that's going to be very difficult. They've got a lot of big moves left to even get back to, contending or thinking about getting into the playoffs.
And you may want to go through your football card collection because someone just sold a Tom Brady rookie card for a record $1.32 million. Previous record for a football card was $500,000. This Sports Center Update is brought to you by Morgan & Morgan. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Austin Land of Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. If you didn't catch today's episode, I'm not mad at you, not even disappointed, but check out what you missed.
I got lambasted on social media for a small, mild bit of criticism of Gardner Minshew.
Careful, because you've been in that guy's house, so be careful.
I get crushed when I say too many positive things, moral victories, and I criticize the QB a little bit because that's what I saw.
Check out our podcast on all platforms. Just search ESPN 690. Subscribe to our podcast. Thanks.
Hey, boss, check this out. You're never home alone and you're never away from home with Safe Touch.
What now? Never home alone. Now that one I get. It's because of the two-way communicator.
Yep. Any emergency and you're talking with the operator in seconds.
Right. Never home alone. Yeah, but what about this never away from home thing?
See, with Safe Touch's smart home automation, you can control your house from anywhere.
What, is it that smartphone thingy again?
Yeah, with the Safe Touch app, you can check your camera feeds, turn on the lights, drop the AC down, lock the doors. Boss, it's like you're there.
Never away from home. Never home alone, never away from home. This changes nothing. I still hate Safe Touch, and we still got to stick to the Crooks or Us golden rule. Stay away from Safe Touch houses. I need an aspirin.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
No matter what you are driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of the Fields Auto Group dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields first and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com.
After a car accident, you can feel like you've lost control. I'm Eli Anajar from the law offices of Anajar and Levine. Our legal team can help you understand your options after an accident. We will file your claim and fight for the full compensation you deserve. If you've been involved in a car accident, call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000 for a free consultation. And take back control of your life.
Office in Jacksonville.
Hey, does your car still only play CDs? No Bluetooth? No CarPlay? You've got an old car, my friend. You know what's better than an old car? A less old car. Get a car or truck that's new to you with a great used car loan from 1-to-1 Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. Get pre-approved for a loan and shop at any dealership in town. Get a low rate and get rid of that old car today. Apply online at 1to1fcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
Join the movement to end colon cancer. March to Get Screened is celebrating its 12th year supporting colon cancer awareness and life-saving screenings. Held on March 28th, March to Get Screened is a family affair including a 5K race, a 1-mile fun run, and fun activities for all. Safety measures will be in place as well as virtual participation options. All proceeds benefit the nonprofit Borland Groover Foundation. Register today, donate, or for more information, head to marchtoGetScreened.com. That's marchtoGetScreened.com.
My community means everything to me. That's why I joined the Army National Guard. I'm proud of where I'm from, and as a soldier, I get to give back to the people that helped me succeed. The training and leadership skills I get from the Army National Guard help me every day when I teach young people and look out for my community. If you'd like to learn how you too can serve part-time in the community you love, visit nationalguard.com.
Sponsored by the Florida Army National Guard. Aired by the Florida Association of Broadcasters and this station.
The March to Get Screened 5K, sponsored by the Borland Groover Foundation, is coming up March 28th. It's Rich Jones. Join me to raise funds for colon cancer awareness, life-saving screenings, and more. Check it all out at marchtoGetScreened.com.
We are the entertainment you love and information that shapes your day. We are your lifeline. We are your companion. We are broadcasters. Text radio to 52886 and let Congress know you depend on your local radio stations. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Have you wanted to speak a new language but thought it'd be too difficult or take too much time? Then try Babbel. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel teaches you conversations that you will actually use. With 14 languages and lesson topics like travel, business, relationships, and more, you'll learn what matters most to you. Babbel. Language for life. Learn a new language with ease. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com.
The biggest names in sports, coming to your mornings.
Cleveland Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski.
Kevin, there were so many expectations about Baker Mayfield coming into this season, but what impressed you most about him?
One of the things I love about Baker is how he works. He's a gym rat. He grinds. He wants to be great, and he understands that there's no secret. You can't snap your fingers and it just happens.
The biggest names in sports, every morning with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin on ESPN Radio.
Max. At a certain point, you know it so well, it's like muscle memory. It's second nature, and you don't have to pay attention to the technique anymore. That's James Harden, the MVP of the league. And by the way, every season, he's among the finalists for MVP.
The Max Kellerman Show, weekdays at 2 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Watch exclusively on ESPN+.
I would say J.J. Watt has the type of presence that you don't want to let him down. I mean, you saw... You've heard some of those quotes coming out of Tampa with Tom, and guys just don't want to let that type of player with that type of work ethic and that type of, legend, they don't want to let him down. They don't want to be that guy that doesn't hold up their end of the bargain. And JJ brings a similar presence with all he's accomplished and his work ethic and the type of person he is. And so I do think that can be a big proponent to where we're trying to head this next season.
Is that Kingsbury?
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
That guy's got some bass in his voice.
Oh, he's working on his fireside chat.
His fire pit manner,
yeah,
if you will. Huh. Did not think that's what Kingsbury sounded like. But there you go. Yeah, I mean, I've said how I felt about J.J. Watt. Was it the smartest place to try to win a Super Bowl? Probably not. Did he worry about the money a little bit too much? Possibly. But I think when we talk J.J. Watt, we also talk legacy. And for him to go to a defense that he's familiar with Vance Joseph, who was once in Houston, to go to a defense that the focus will be on Chandler Jones, I think to go to a defense that was, outsider, if not the top 10 last year in terms of productivity and stats, I think there's worse places to go. And if you assume, like I do, that Kyler Murray is only on the come up right now, and that offense will even look better this up-and-coming season, then you might have something special in Arizona. So I'm not going to fault J.J. Watt for going to Arizona. Once again, I thought it was going to be Green Bay or Tampa Bay. But to me, this screams, despite what the haters say, despite what some of the analysts say, maybe including myself, he still has a lot left in the tank. Now, whether that's right or wrong, we'll be the judge of that. But I just feel like he's trying to prove people wrong still and say, hey, you guys want to count me out? You want to say I'm injury-ridden and all this stuff? I'm on the back nine of my career. Watch what I do in Arizona. Now, whether it pans out or not, time will tell. But I'm not going to hate on a guy for wanting to prove people wrong. If anything, it shows the type of guy that he is. So props to J.J. Watt. Because if it was me in that situation, I would have took the pay cut. I would have rolled the bench if I have to win a Super Bowl. So I probably would have went to Tampa. Because assuming right now Tampa Bay is starting to reload a little bit and everything like that, I'll take a Super Bowl. I'll put my faith in Tom Brady. Is there any other let's think about this real quick. In the entire landscape of the NFL, is there any other person right now currently that you would put your faith in over Tom Brady? I doubt it. No, maybe Trevor Lawrence, obviously, right? I think Allen Robinson is liking Trevor. Hey, where's the Trevor tracker on that one? Supposedly, Trevor Lawrence is following Allen Robinson right now on Instagram.
Ooh.
Where were you on that one?
I didn't get a notification about that.
Gonna need you to talk a little harder next time.
All right, hold on, I'm on it.
Gonna need you to look through his followers. Now, this is hearsay. I'm not sure if it's true or not. Maybe I just got.
Well, hold on, I might be able to figure that out for you.
All right, well, you just get on that.
Oh wait. Oh, he's following. Okay, so he follows 961 people. Follows DJ Chark, Keenan Allen.
Okay, yeah.
Allen Robinson, yeah.
So Trevor Lawrence is following Allen Robinson.
And Melvin Gordon.
Melvin Gordon?
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else worth a note?
Colin Johnson.
Sure. Well, I mean, he's a Jaguar.
Yep.
Do we got any other big... Is he following Leonard Williams?
Let me see. Williams.
Is he following my burner account on Instagram? Because I don't have one, but if I did...
No, he's following Will Greer.
Okay.
But not... No. He's not.
Hey, now you're just saying names when you bring up Will Greer. No, I'm kidding, man. Former Florida Gator Will Greer. Okay. Interesting that he's following Allen Robinson. I like it. Adds a little bit to the intrigue, if you will, right?
Yeah. I'm trying to see if there's any other names that pop up.
So now I'm going to appreciate, though, going forward, because you know how I feel about this Trevor tracker. Going to need you to step your game up a little bit, all right? I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
I don't want to go on Twitter and see the breaking news. This is your job, Coos. This is what you signed up for.
Follows Jimmy Butler, first basketball player I've seen on this list.
Yeah. I mean, sure. Why not?
I mean, hey, I'm just pointing it out.
Yeah, okay. Anybody else worth of note? Does he follow ESPN 690?
Ooh. Well, I feel like we would have... No, that would have been a whole thing. If he followed us, we would have known. That would have popped up on my phone.
If Trevor Lawrence followed us, I would have took the day off and went to Lemon Bar, be honest.
He follows
I got a fight coming up,
the
though.
main ESPN.
Yeah. Okay, whatever. All right, so with that being said, Trevor Lawrence following Allen Robinson on Instagram. It is what it is. You heard it, you didn't hear it here first because Kuz ain't doing his job. But,
hey, but we verified.
But it is verified, confirmed, print it, send it, deliver it. I want to switch topics a little bit, though, with Jaguars-related players here. And a guy that's not really being talked about a lot right now that's made some progress that, once again, is a little intriguing to me is Dawuane Smoot. Now, I think Dawuane Smoot, in terms of dependability and in terms of, stuffing the box score, has done a fantastic job. I really do. I think year by year, Dawuane Smoot has come and done better and better. Now, he's going to be an unrestricted free agent in 2021. Big question if the Jaguars should resign him or not. I'm going to be honest. In terms of where he would fit in a 3-4 defense, it's almost like he might be a tweener because I feel like, well, obviously he's a little too big to play outside linebacker. And depending on what his weight's at right now, he might be a little too small to play in a 3-4 defensive tackle / nose. And trust me when I say he might be too small because I had to do that job in Kansas City. And if you weigh around 280, 285, needless to say, it's not going to cut the mustard. But nevertheless, Action Sports Jack's Marcel Robinson caught up with Dawuane Smoot a little bit. I think just to catch up and see what's going on in his life. Kuz, do we have that audio ready to go? Yeah, let's go ahead and play that Dawuane Smoot interview. I'm curious. I haven't heard it myself, so I'm curious to see what Dawuane Smoot's been up to and if there is a chance that he can come back to Jacksonville on a new deal.
Okay, I see a knowing nod. It was definitely something that was heavy in my heart. I mean, something I've been trying to get together for a couple of years now, and something that the kids can learn, and going forward, just figuring out how to actually work with the computers and being able to build them. Not a lot of people know, actually, when you go out and buy a Dell for $1,000, like, it's nowhere near if you build something yourself for $400. It's actually a lot better. So just teaching these kids that, and them actually having that skill set is a great thing for them going in the future.
You've been very outspoken about how involved you are with sort of the art aspect of things. Obviously like video production, everything that you do. To be partnered with Jams, to be able to do something like this. First of all, how did you get involved, and sort of, I guess for lack of a better term, what keeps you coming back?
I feel like it's like something that is kind of tied to me. Luckily, I was introduced to this place by my doula when my son was born, and we came here and we were actually here for like a music display or something like that. They had like video, music, all the kids were like, they were all into it. They were happy. I just saw like the great things that they're doing here. And I felt like it was kind of a disservice that they didn't have like the funding to be able to get it done, and in arts and stuff like that where they've been trying to kind of cut back. I want to be able to bring light to that. So I feel like it's just something that I feel like I'm gonna be coming back to a lot. I want to be able to do a lot more things going forward for Jams as well.
You can definitely feel your passion and the compassion as you're working in there with them, sort of putting these things together. So many times we'll see guys kind of come through, and I mean their heart is in it obviously, but for someone like you who is really tied into this, hoping that you can pass this on to them, you can sort of feel that with the kids, right? Yeah,
I can definitely feel that, and I feel their excitement as well. I mean they're very focused, they're into it, they want to learn, they're eager to learn. So I'm just happy that I'm able to even meet these kids that even want to even do this, and just lend a helping hand wherever I can.
And so let me ask you one more question just about the school in general. To have sort of a facility like this, obviously, it's one of the big things that we're talking about, giving back, but to have a facility like Jams where kids can come here and really kind of explore those aspects that they may not be exposed to, say in other schools. For someone like you, obviously, to be able to come here and just sort of see the impact, not just for you, but just the facility and the programs they have here offer, it's got to be great, right?
Oh, it's definitely great. And I think I came here about 2 years ago, and it did not look anything like this. It was completely boxed off, and it was just like the auditorium that was available. And you're seeing that like just by like the funding that's been coming in and like the help that they've been given, like they've been using it and like making like unbelievable spaces and creative spaces for these kids. So I mean, it's something that I'm inspired by, and something I'm looking forward to, keep giving back.
Obviously, the biggest impact that most people on the football team leave in the city is the football activity. But is this sort of like your hope that this will be your impact on the city to touch some of these kids into doing things like this?
Definitely, just teaching kids that there's like skills, like tangible skills they can do with their hands, and actual things that they can contribute to life. So, I mean, these are things that I want to be able to help as well. And I know these. All the teachers here at Jams are, doing an unbelievable job with that. So I'm just here to help.
Dawuane Smoot, talking about something that I have no idea about, really.
Computers.
Kuz, how many times I have to tell you, hey, can you open up my computer or type in my password for me? I'll be honest. But while that interview, I had no idea what he's talking about in terms of computers. But it goes to show you, it's more than football. And I think that was actually done. I think Dawuane Smoot was actually at a school helping out kids and, kind of teaching about computer classes and stuff like that, which is really cool. It goes to show you that there's more to life than football, and that football players aren't just X's and O's. There's other things about them. And I know Dawuane Smoot actually trains MMA as well, and he's very knowledgeable, obviously, in computers. What can't the guy do? But it begs the question, do you bring him back in a 3-4 defense? Is there a need for like a pass rushing defensive tackle? I'm not sure. I think it comes down to the size and the stature. And I get it, I have preconceived notions of what a 3-4 defensive tackle should look like. I just don't think that Dawuane Smoot fits the mold. But who knows, man? He's proven us wrong in the past. Maybe he comes back and he dominates. More on ESPN.
Most football players stop playing football because they don't love the process anymore. I know a million football players, and almost every one of them will say to me, Greeny, if it was just about Sundays, I'd still be playing. The adrenaline rush, the thrill, the excitement, the fun of playing a football game is something that you never stop wanting. It's all the other stuff.
Greeny with Mike Greenberg. Weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio, and watch exclusively on ESPN+.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
Wish he's now a free agent. The Washington football team cut Smith, which saves them almost $15 million in cap space. Smith made an inspiring comeback last year after a broken right leg and a series of 17 surgeries. With so many quarterbacks available now, which domino falls first? ESPN's Dan Graziano.
I think if Jimmy Garoppolo were to be moved, that would signal a lot of change in the quarterback landscape around the league.
Dan Graziano on Key J and Z. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver tells ESPN's Ramona Shelburne that fans should not travel to Atlanta for All-Star Weekend. Silver says it should be thought of as a TV-only event. ESPN Radio's coverage of the All-Star Game starts Sunday at 6:30 Eastern. A man who lives near the site of Tiger Woods' SUV crash last week says when he got there, Woods was unresponsive and appeared to be unconscious. The first officer on the scene said Woods was able to talk and answer questions.
New to the Wendy's 2 for $5 lineup is their classic chicken sandwich. So go grab a 2 for $5 deal and pick 2 faves, like a Dave Single, spicy chicken sandwich, nugs, and now the classic chicken sandwich, 2 for just $5. Price and participation may vary. Limited time only.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
We all know what the most important meal of the day is, and now it's the most awesome. Moe's Southwest Grill St. Augustine is now serving up breakfast burritos and bowls in their drive-thru. The fluffy eggs, shredded cheese, grilled steak and chicken, and salsa if you choose. They're all available in the AM, so you can swing by the Moe's drive-thru on your way to work. No more cold cereal and oatmeal at your desk, just convenient breakfasty goodness. Get ready to be the coolest kid at the office. Welcome to Moe's.
After a car accident, you can feel like you've lost control. I'm Eli Anajar from the law offices of Anajar and Levine. Our legal team can help you understand your options after an accident. We will file your claim and fight for the full compensation you deserve. If you've been involved in a car accident, call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000 for a free consultation. And take back control of your life.
Office in Jacksonville.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Grainger, offering supplies and solutions for every industry, with 24/7 support and experienced staff at over 250 local branches. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Have you seen it? The all-new showroom at Arlington Toyota is open, and they're ready to celebrate with big savings, even on pre-owned. Celebrate savings and hearing the words, "You're approved." That's right. With Arlington's Credit for Everyone program, if your Beacon score is from 450 to 850, almost everyone is approved. Plus, if you want selection, Arlington's got it. With over 400 pre-owned on the lot, what are you waiting for? Celebrate with savings and come see the brand new facility at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com.
It is the home of the Action Sports Jacks Dream 18, and make it your home course as well. The golf club at Southampton in North St. Johns County, located off County Road 210. It's family owned and operated. Southampton is a fun course to play, and the golf club at Southampton offers club membership programs starting at just $79. With its elite practice facilities and player-friendly golf course design, it'll be your gateway to a great time with the family or with your buddies. For information on the membership programs, call the golf club at Southampton, 904-287-PLAY. Again, it's 904-287-PLAY.
In Florida, it's not if the storms are coming, it's when the storms are coming. And that's why you need the Chief. Jacksonville's chief meteorologist, Mike Burrish, with a proven track record of keeping local families safe. Rain, heat, hurricanes, flooding, tornadoes. We get it all. Just more reasons why you need the Chief. Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish, backed by the First Alert Weather Team. Only on CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jacks.
Saying goodbye to a loved one is never easy.
Hi, I'm Larry Self, owner of The Casket Store. For the past 20 years, we've been helping people plan ahead with affordable options and quality products. Often people are caught by surprise and in the midst of their grief end up paying much more for the exact same casket. We offer cemetery headstones, bronze markers, caskets, urns, and more at 40 to 70% off standard funeral prices. Please visit us at thecasketstore.com.
Trust the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts to recommend the best products for your car, like 5 quarts of O'Reilly full synthetic motor oil and a MicroGuard filter, just $26.99. Extend the life of your vehicle and improve performance with a synthetic oil change. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
It's time for some straight talk. Your tax return could look different this year, but you're still going to hear a lot of noise about how to spend it. So when the big carriers tell you to splurge on the latest nonsense, just tune it out. With Straight Talk, you can get a Samsung Galaxy A51 for just $199. Plus, get the $45 unlimited talk, text, and data plan with no contract on America's best networks for up to 50% less. Tune out the nonsense and tune in to Straight Talk. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
We're sitting in a very good situation to make some decisions that can change the fortunes of this organization for a long time. We approach every decision we make as the most important decision we're going to make, but this certainly, if it's not the most important one that we've made in our career, it's certainly up there.
Jaguars' new GM, Trent Baalke. Listen, it's an important year. It's an important year for this franchise, and it's an important year for a lot of reasons. And I think that you're going to find out really quick how you can evaluate talent, which might not be the fairest of things after 1 year, because let's be honest, there's players like C.J. Henderson right now, Caleb Chason, where the jury's still out, right? Caleb Chason for a lot of the year, I've said this many times, was playing out of position. Now, at the end, he showed some promise. He started to get his bearings within him a little bit, but now you're going to ask him more than likely to have a new role. Now, that role is going to be something that he's accustomed to, having played at LSU in a 3-4, but it's going to be a new role nonetheless. And then you have a guy like C.J. Henderson, who showed promise week 1, week 2, but then as the season progressed, it seemed like he got worse, which is never a good sign. So it's hard to judge a draft class after 1 year. Now, maybe I don't have the answer. I don't know, like, do you go after 2 years? Do you go after 3 years? But it's going to be very telling this year due to the contributions of Chason and C.J. Henderson, just what their draft class is going to be all about. And there's other guys, too. Shaq Quarterman, obviously. But keep this in mind. And Trent Baalke is a part of this. But we get the sense that Urban Meyer is calling the shots here. So when Urban Meyer comes in, and for whatever reason, I'm not saying this is going to happen at all, but let's just, theoretically, let's just talk about this right now. If Urban Meyer comes in and says, you know what? I think there's a better guy than Caleb Chason right now on this team. I'm going to start him over that. That organization wouldn't bat an eyelash at that. I mean, if it was to happen, I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't come out here and say, well, how are you going to sit a first-round pick from last year? Because simply put, Urban Meyer, Joe Cullen, this coaching staff, they have zero loyalty to the guys who were drafted last year, the year prior to that, and so on and so on. So I'm very curious to see what route Urban Meyer goes here. Because if he brings that college football mentality, the football mentality that he had at Florida and at Ohio State, and he brings that to Jacksonville, well, then it's going to be, and every college coach can attest to this, it's going to be, you got to earn your spot, right? It doesn't matter if you're a bona fide starter, if you're a former Pro Bowler, if you're a 6th-round pick, undrafted free agent, you got to earn your spot. I wonder if that's what it's going to look like, Or do you take the NFL approach a little more and it's like, okay, these guys have either earned their stripes or they were taken high in the draft for a reason, so we give them the benefit of the doubt until they prove us wrong. It'll be very telling because Urban Meyer bringing the college philosophy over, he's hired a lot of great NFL coaches around him, we think, who come with years and years and years of NFL knowledge. That could be kind of a clash of philosophies, let's just say. And I'm very curious to see where the Jaguars go here. Now, we may never know. We may not get a peek behind this curtain and see what they plan on doing. But we are going to know if Caleb Von Trayson's not the starter week 1 or if he's taking the second string reps in training camp. We are going to know, and I don't think this is going to happen, obviously, but once again, theoretically speaking, if C.J. Henderson isn't the one cornerback, if somebody else is, if C.J. Henderson's going to cover, the 2 receiver or something like that, then we'll have an idea. But right now where we sit, I'm not sure. But I can't stress it enough. You're gonna find out really quickly what type of scouting department and what type of guys you have evaluating the talent. Because like I've spoken many times in the past, there is no combine this year. There is no, there's pro days and all this stuff. And by the way, I would be remiss if I didn't give a shout out real quick to Georgia defensive back Eric Stokes, who just ran, and this is an HOA combine official number, 4.24 in the 40-yard dash. Obviously, the record being 4.22. Now, was it electronically timed? How much stake do you put into it? I'm not sure. But needless to say, Hugh Jackson, Brandon Marshall in attendance or commenting on it, just said, and I quote, "That man just got paid." And that's Hugh Jackson talking. And then Brandon Marshall just said he just made some money. And yeah, if you're on a 4.24 40, you're going to make some money. No ands, ifs, buts about it. And that's the way the NFL works sometimes. Yeah, you put out the film. Yeah, you have interceptions here if you're defensive back and you lay the wallop sometimes. You're not afraid to hit somebody. That's great. But you can make a lot of money over a 40-yard dash. You can make a lot of money over a broad jump or a vertical jump or an L drill. You can make a lot of money doing things that you think wouldn't be that highly, regarded in football, but they all make sense. I remember my 40-yard dash at the combine, and I'll be honest with everybody. I'm not going to lie to you. I ran a 4.84. I was hoping, and maybe I was lying to myself a little bit because I put on so much weight. I weighed 276 pounds at the combine. Probably should have weighed in at 250, but it was a different era back then. You needed big, 4.3 defensive ends. But to show you how much the game has changed from then until now, I was 6'6", 276 pounds at the combine, and I was doing linebacker drills. Like, the 3-4 defense was kind of, it was kind of on the come up a little bit, but, like, there was still a thought that I could play outside linebacker at 276 pounds. Now, in retrospect, was that too much weight? Yes. But I just thought, well, hey, 276 pounds, it's the sweet spot. I can play a 3-4 outside linebacker. I can play 4-3 defensive end. So I took it and rolled with it. And I put on about 15 pounds out of college. That being said, though, I wanted that 4.6. 4.6 was the goal. I had my Miley Cyrus Party in the USA blaring in my headphones. I felt good. I was a little tired because it's the combine. You don't get any sleep sitting through these psychological evaluations all day. But I felt good. I line up. I take off too soon. I don't know the guy's name, but you see him every single year when you watch the combine. He's from the Pittsburgh Steelers, the most ultimate stickler when it comes to making sure that your hand and your feet are set for 2 seconds until you can take off for the 40-yard dash. I felt like I was set at 1.8 seconds, but he said, nope, wasn't 2 seconds, come on back. So that's devastating. That's deflating. So you walk back, you reset, and now your confidence is a little shaken, but I have my eyes on the prize. I'm getting that 4.6. Let's go. Head down, go through my form, which I practiced ad nauseum the past 2 months in my combine training. I take off, look up, 4.84. Immediate devastation. Immediate, oh no. Didn't want the 4.84. Wanted the 4.6. No, in retrospect, the 4.84, it's respectable. 6'6", 276 pounds. Like, I wasn't winning any track meets, but a 4.84 got the job done. But I wanted that 4.6. And this is the mental gymnastics that I went through after that 4.84, because keep in mind, you run the 40-yard dash twice. So Austin thinks to himself, okay, I felt good coming out of my stance. That was kind of all I had in the tank, but apparently a 4.84 ain't going to cut it, so I got to take it up a notch. And as I take it up a notch, what do? I tense up my body. Now I'm flexing before I'm getting in my stance, which is the exact opposite of what you want to do. A real quick pro tip for all you future combine attendees that want to be successful at the 40-yard dash. If you watch Usain Bolt, if you watched back in the day Justin Gatlin or any sprinter, you notice what they're doing with their mouth and what they're doing with their upper body. It is completely loose. You know, like their whole jaws are just moving at, you know, kind of like at the speed of the wind, right? They're loose, they're relaxed, and they let the lower body do the work. Well, I had in my mind where it's like, okay, I got to flex through this thing. I got to gather every ounce of effort and energy and stick-to-itiveness that I have left, and I got to bring out that Midwest tough demeanor, and I got to grip myself through this 40-yard dash and show them I can run a 4.6, which is so unrealistic after running a 4.84. But nevertheless, I get in the blocks again. I tense up as hard as I can. I'm like, all right, explosiveness. I get probably the best get off of my life. Like, I'm like, oh, I've been kind of surprised myself a little bit. I'm like, oh, okay, this feels right. So I'm running, but now I'm like, I'm exerting myself. I'm grunting. Your hands are supposed to be open. I'm making a clenched fists right now. My knuckles are turning white, essentially. I get to the end, and I'm like, I'm going to be honest. The form may not have been the best, but that may be a 4.6. Like, that's what I thought as I got to the end, as crazy as this sounds. Because I'm like, I exhausted myself. I felt fast. I felt quick. One of the best get-ups I ever had. And I look up. Because, you know, obviously it's like live television, right? So all the cameras are there on the NFL Network. I look up. 4.89, and we go to the drills. I'm like, okay, well, the 40-yard dash just wasn't for me that day. It is what it is. But there is a lot to be said about running a 4.24 like Eric Stokes did. So, sir, whether it's official, whether it's hand time, whether it's electronic, 4.24 is a 4.24, and you're about to make some money, sir. So congratulations. Not like it means anything because I ran a 4.8, but it is what it is. Kuz, how much time we got left? Do I have time for a little UFC breakdown before we go to break here? Or are we about to go to break?
You've got about 3 minutes.
Not enough time, Kuz. Not enough time to break down UFC. But do we have – how long is the interview with Stuart Weber and Ricky Carmichael? I'm really putting you on the spot right now, and I appreciate it, but –
Hold on, I got to get it. All
right. Well, in the meantime here, let's go back to some pro day updates. So I guess Georgia had their pro day today. You know, I'm really curious to see how these pro days are going to work out. Because, like I said, the combine, it's big for the 40-yard dash and all that stuff, but you really find out what kind of player you're getting when you take them through the drills. When you take them through a stressful atmosphere of players getting, 6 hours, maybe 7 hours of sleep. When we talk about pro days, it's geared more towards the player. It's set up for the player to be successful. That's why sometimes you see players that say, hey, I have a nagging injury. I can't do this. I can't do that. I'll get you on my pro day. Well, as we've just seen at Georgia, we got dudes running 4.24s, and I'm not sure how the drills went. I haven't watched the coverage at all, but I wonder if we're going to see some crazy numbers this year. I wonder if we're going to see some record-breaking numbers in terms of the vertical, in terms of the broad jump and the 40 and everything. I wonder how that's going to stand out, and I wonder how much stake we put into those numbers. Because once again, if we do it from the past, it's all about those combine numbers, and the pro day numbers come secondly. But I wonder now, since there's no combine, how much scouts and GMs are putting stake into these numbers taking place at a pro day. But I promise you one thing. If you're in a 4.24 and you're a cornerback, they're impressed. Enough said, no ands, ifs, or buts about it. Listen, I teased it. When we come back here, I deliver on it. We got UFC 259, Stylebender, Jan Blachowicz. We got 3 title fights taking place, everybody. And those are 3 title fights that I got to break down. Next here on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Increasing cloudiness, breezy, and rather cool tonight, dropping into the upper 40s, becoming mostly cloudy and cool Saturday. Some rain developing with highs near 60, falling into the low to mid-50s by late afternoon. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm Action News Jax Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, where right now you can get 5 years, 0-interest financing with nothing down.
It's been 6 months since my wife leased her new Cadillac from Fields Auto Group, and she absolutely loves it. It's our first experience with Fields, and it's been terrific. They say you can step up to luxury for less, and we did. Not just a luxury Cadillac XT6. The car is beautiful, but the customer service is extra special, too. It was like that at Fields Cadillac Jacksonville, and it will be like that at any of the Fields locations in Jacksonville. Cadillac, of course, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche as well. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. We are now part of that Fields Amenities program, and my wife tried the loaner program. It was easy and a nice added benefit. So whatever you're driving, see Fields and step up to luxury for less. Check out their locations all around Jacksonville, just like we did. You can go visit fieldsauto.com.
For families worried about making ends meet, we are here. For those struggling with depression, we are here. We're also here to protect kids in crisis, assist students, and help our seniors. We're Jewish Family and Community Services, and we've been here offering support to people of every age, race, and religion for more than a century. Jewish Family and Community Services, here for all, here for Jags. Learn more at hereforjags.com.
A healthier you is the first step toward a healthy baby. When planning a pregnancy, baby steps toward better health can deliver big results. Exercising regularly and eating a balanced diet will help you reach or maintain a healthy weight and increase the likelihood of a healthy baby. Taking a multivitamin containing folic acid every day helps prevent birth defects, and regular medical and dental checkups are especially important when planning for pregnancy. To learn more about taking your baby steps toward a healthy pregnancy, call Florida's Family Health Line at 1-800-451-2229.
Children who've been abused, neglected, or have serious emotional issues need a comforting place to heal. Daniel offers them residential treatment with intensive therapy, but needs your help in furnishing one of the children's cottages. Please help Daniel raise $150,000 in 150 days to furnish their future. Every new bed or dresser helps create an environment of hope and healing for local kids in crisis. Donate at danielkids.org.
For the ones who know safety isn't a catchphrase, it's a culture. And the ones who help make sure everyone makes it home safe. For the safety-minded who watch everyone's backs, Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, as well as safety assessments and training to keep your facilities safe and your people safer. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you love golf, you need to get this deal. 8 rounds of golf for less than $12 per round plus card fees with the Dream 18 golf card at great area golf courses like Queens Harbor Yacht and Country Club, Fleming Island Golf Club, and 6 others. And this isn't just a golf card. Get a free shirt from Baker Sports, a free hat at Dome Hats, and a free smoothie from Smoothie King, plus 15% off any purchase at Palm Beach Autographs. Go to ESPN690.com to purchase the Dream 18 card for $95. Hundreds of dollars in savings and the perfect gift.
Everybody loves selfies, right? It's the way we all like to say, hey, it's me. No pretending, just the real you. Seems like a little thing, but little things mean a lot. Adding a smarter banking account at Community First might seem like a little thing too. But if you want a smart way to move your money around, you know what works for you. So do what's right for you. Community First. Just be yourself. Add an account on your phone, tablet, or desktop at justbeyourself.com.
Federally insured by NCUA.
Saying goodbye to a loved one is never easy. Hi, I'm Larry Self, owner of the Casket Store. For the past 20 years, we've been helping people create the perfect cemetery headstone. Our process is simple, no pressure, and our prices are surprisingly low. We install headstones, bronze markers, and upright monuments in any cemetery in the Southeast. We also offer bronze plaques for churches and schools. For more information and to see our work, please visit us at thecasketstore.com.
In the know, I'm Smitha Rao. As the coronavirus pandemic continues throughout the fall and winter, overlapping with flu season, Dr. Eduardo Sanchez, American Heart Association Chief Medical Officer for Prevention, says that getting a flu vaccine is more important than ever.
The flu is serious and can even cause death. If you get the flu right now, you may need to be hospitalized in an already overwhelmed healthcare system. Get your flu shot and stay out of the hospital due to the flu.
It is important for everyone to get a flu vaccine, but especially important for seniors, children, pregnant women, and people with underlying risk factors such as heart disease, stroke, and diabetes.
The flu vaccine is safe and effective, and you can get it at places that are taking extra safety measures like your doctor's office, pharmacy, or even community pop-up centers. As with COVID-19, wearing a mask, washing your hands often, and social distancing helps to prevent the spread of the flu.
For more, go to heart.org/flu prevention.
Sponsored locally by Florida Blue.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Grainger, offering supplies and solutions for every industry, with 24/7 support and experienced staff at over 250 local branches. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
What's up, everybody? It's Austin Lane from ESPN 690 and Action Sports Jax. Your smart speaker brings ESPN 690 into your home office. All you got to do is say Amazon Echo, Google Home, play ESPN 690, and enjoy that succulent sports coverage.
Brent Martineau.
I'm not the guy that likes to, be over dramatic.
Austin Lane.
Well, you're almost in tears yesterday.
I was.
So.
Well, that was a little different.
Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
I'm going to go with Justin Fields, especially if a team moves up to draft him in the top 5. And the reason why I say this is this. Without knowing him, I just wonder why he struggles so much with defenses who are very good at taking away read number 1, read number 2, a la the Northwestern game, late in the football season. That was something that really stood out to me. He looked like he didn't have enough answers, whether it be he himself, whether the offense didn't have enough of them built in, but it just looked like he froze and panicked and started making bad decisions when it wasn't so clear and easy and defined for him.
Who's that, Kuz?
Louis Riddick.
Louis Riddick. Talking about, really the slippery slope of Justin Fields. I've alluded to this before. I've said that the bad of Justin Fields is bad, right? I mean, he looked lost out there. The interceptions that you saw, they are definitely worrisome. But I've also said that the good looks very good. So, I don't know. I'm glad that the Jaguars are taking Trevor Lawrence at number 1 and they don't have to worry about it. When we talk about the ultimate boomer bust, I think the obvious guy would be Trey Lance, because obviously he's only had 1 game this past year, so we haven't really seen a big sample size. But you get the sense that Zach Wilson's going to be okay. I think you get the sense that if Mac Jones can find the right team and the right offense, he's going to be okay. Kyle Trask, we'll see. Kellen Mond, I'll be honest, I'm not sold on him, despite what Chris Sims says. Fields might be the ultimate boomer bust guy, though. Because, like I've said, the good that we've seen when he's been injured on the biggest stage has been fantastic. But the bad that we've seen, compared to Trey Lance, Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Mac Jones, the bad is probably below all those guys. So it's a roller coaster, man. When we're talking about Justin Fields, we'll see what happens there. But I teased it, and I could talk football all day. But I got other passions, everybody. And we've talked wrestling already today. And as you can tell, my co-host Brent Martineau is out today on a little vacay, I believe. I think was that the thing? We never even asked him where he's going.
I honestly had no idea. I was texting him like he was coming in. Like,
oh, you thought it was coming in?
When we were texting before the show, I was like,
you better start reading those emails, Coos.
Well, yeah.
No, it's okay.
That was me.
No, you're all good, man. Hey, doesn't change your game at all. You're still doing the right job.
At the end of the day, I still have to press the right buttons.
Yes, you do. And you're doing a fantastic job of it so far. Now, whatever the whole thing says about the ESPN 690 stream chat or the chat
I'm working
or the
on
stream,
that.
you don't have to work on it. I'm just saying, mighty confusing. Mighty confusing. But obviously, another thing that I like in the sporting world is ultimate fighting, is MMA, mixed martial arts. I do it myself, and I love talking about it. And I love talking about big cards. And UFC 259 might be one of the biggest ones of the year. I mean, we have 3 title fights. Now, let's be honest, check your local listings, but this thing could be going to 2 o'clock in the morning, and so be it if it does. But the main event, let's start with that, and let's work our way down a little bit. The main event is one of the most intriguing matchups, I feel like, of the year. When we're talking about Israel Adesanya, a.k.a. the Style Bender, who I've mentioned many times on the show before, taking on Jan Blachowicz. Now, Style Bender is a minus 250. Jan Blachowicz is plus 195. Keep in mind, Style Bender for this fight is making the move up. He's going from 185 pounds to 205 pounds. He weighed in today at 201.5 pounds, which is the 3rd lightest ever for a UFC light heavyweight title fight. Obviously, Style Bender's goal here is to be the champ. We've seen this happen a couple times recently. We've seen Daniel Cormier accomplish this. We've seen Conor McGregor accomplish this. We've seen Amanda Nunes accomplish this. If Style Bender was to win this fight, it would put him in the rarefied air of being considered one of the greatest mixed martial artists of all times to hold 2 belts in the UFC at the same time. And I'm sorry, I think Henry Cejudo did that as well. I don't want to forget about him, a.k.a. Triple C, a.k.a. the Cringe Master. When we talk about Style Bender, though, moving up and taking on a guy in Jan Blachowicz who seems to come into stride. I mean, he's the champ for a reason. This was a guy who was on the back burner of the UFC. This was a guy who literally was maybe 1 loss away from getting let go of the UFC. Seemed to find his stride, seemed to have everything fall into place and make sense, and now what we have is a new Jan Blachowicz. And when we talk about his style and what he brings to the cage, this is a guy who is fundamentally and technically as sound as they come. Whether it's on the ground, whether it's with his striking, like he's not going to knock your socks off with crazy kicks and Superman punches and things like that. But his movement and his striking and the crispness of it, it always sets him in a shot for him to be successful. And he has the power to boot. He has the one-punch knockout power. I'm reminded of Luke Rockhold. Luke Rockhold comes back to the UFC, riding the hype train. Jan Blachowicz said, cool, check this out, and boom, 1 shot is all it took. And Luke Rockhold went to sleep. So the power is something to watch here. Because if you're Style Bender, you're accustomed to fighting at 185. And you move up to a new division. And that can mean a lot, without a doubt. What I'm going to watch for, though, in Style Bender, and, it's hard to pick a winner here. I'm taking Style Bender. I'm taking Israel Adesanya simply because he showed me so much in his last fight against Paulo Costa, a guy who probably outweighed him by at least probably 15 to 20 pounds in terms of muscle. And that's the thing about Style Bender that people fail to see and they always neglect about him. It's the body type. He's a long, lean-looking fighter. Not a lot of muscle on this dude, but his striking and the way that he approaches the fight game is probably different than anybody I've ever seen. Like, there's hints of Anderson Silva. There's a little hint maybe of John Jones in terms of using your reach. But what makes Israel Adesanya so good and such a hard guy to prepare for is what I like to call the flow factor. It's what I like to call the dance factor, if you will. Now, what do I mean by that? To the casual MMA fan. If you've ever been in a cage, in a ring, or on a mat sparring somebody, you quickly start to learn, regardless of your skill set, there's a flow to sparring or fighting somebody. It's like, all right, I throw a combination, I get back, he throws the combination. Okay, he throws the combination, I counter that, I check that, I throw a combination back. There's a certain rhythm that eventually, when you get more experienced, that you feel. And the whole point of fighting and what Stylebender does better than anybody right now in the UFC is he is the master of dictating the flow and changing the flow up. Imagine like you're at a dance club with your girl or something like that, all right? And there's just like a certain flow, right? Like you're vibing, you're feeling it, maybe you're a couple drinks deep. And then all of a sudden the DJ, for whatever reason, puts on like line dancing music out of nowhere. And you're like, what the heck is this? Right? It takes you out of your flow. It takes you out of your mindset. All of a sudden, you start to sober up a little bit. And it's like, what are we doing here? That's what a Stylebender brings to the cage. Where when he has his dance partner and he's showing off his flow, all of a sudden he does something that you don't expect. Whether it's a feint, whether it's a kick, but something to disrupt the rhythm. And when the rhythm gets disrupted, his fighter starts to crumble. And that's what you saw his last fight against Paulo Costa. Paulo Costa could have came forward. Let's be honest. In terms of physique and size, there's not too many guys bigger at 185 than Paulo Costa. But when Paulo Costa came forward, what did Stylebender do? He feinted him, he moved around him, and he disrupted the flow. That's going to be the key against Jan Blachowicz, who is obviously probably the bigger, more powerful, and stronger fighter. Can Stylebender disrupt the flow, disrupt the dance, and dance on Stylebender's terms? I think he can. I think he gets it done. And I have Israel Adesanya winning against Jan Blachowicz. UFC co-main event. Amanda Nunes taking on Megan Anderson. Right now, Amanda Nunes, what is she known as? The GOAT. For a reason. She's the champ, right? Knocked out Chris Cyborg. Took care of Holly Holm. Has gone through really a murderer's row of women and has never lost a round, it seems like. She's right now at her peak in terms of her performances in the cage. Taking on Megan Anderson, who is a true, and keep in mind, this is for the 145, but taking on Megan Anderson right now, who is a true 145er. And this is the question that looms with Amanda Nunes. She's been the bully in fights. She's been the bigger lady in fights. But what happens when she takes on somebody who's a little taller, who has a little more reach, who has a very diverse striking skill set in terms of punches? This could be different. Now, going to the Vegas odds real quick, we got Amanda Nunes minus 1,000, and then we got Megan Anderson going the other way at plus 650. It's hard to pick against Amanda Nunes because she is fighting at such a level right now. Now, keep in mind, she just had a baby. She didn't have a baby, but her significant other just had a baby. So now she's going through motherhood. That can change a fighter for the better or for the worse. I think it changes Amanda Nunes for the better. I'm going to be honest. She's becoming a bigger and bigger star, fight in and fight out. If Amanda Nunes was doing movies and commercials and all these types of things, I might be a little worried. Because we've seen this with Ronda Rousey before, right? When you become a certain status in the UFC, well, then Fast and Furious starts calling. And all of a sudden you get brought away from your training a little more, and it's about shooting those movies, about spreading your brand. I don't think Amanda Nunes is there quite yet, or I don't think she wants to be there quite yet. I think MMA and being the greatest women's fighter of all time are the most important things to Amanda Nunes right now. So while the look that Megan Anderson is going to give her is going to be different than Amanda Nunes has seen before, I got to take the GOAT here. I got to go Amanda Nunes. I still think it's her time. I think she's probably the best pound-for-pound fighter possibly in the division, men or women. Like, she's just got that type of skill set. Nothing against Megan Anderson because I'm a huge fan of her as well. But give me Amanda Nunes. Last fight of the night. Not the last fight of the night, but the last championship fight of the night I want to break down real quick. Kuz, we got about 5 more minutes here. Yeah, thumbs are up. Thumbs are up. We're good to go. This is the hardest one, everybody. And this is another title fight. And this is Aljamain Sterling taking on Peter Yan. This fight is what we like to call in the business a clash of styles. All right? Now, these guys are fighting at bantamweight. Peter Yan, right now, he's going to be, defending the belt from Russia, who, when you hear the name Peter Yan, you think, okay, well, he's Russian, got to be good at wrestling. Nah. This guy is a masterclass in the art of boxing. Some of the best hands I feel like in the UFC. Power, speed, crispness. Peter Yan possesses it all. And he's shown in the past that he has athleticism. He has the takedown defense to keep the fight standing. And if it goes to the ground, he's very comfortable there as well. Taking on a guy in Aljamain Sterling who's been out, he's been around for a while. He's fought the who's who in the UFC. This is finally his shot really to try to take that belt, to take that 135 belt and kind of justify his career, right? He's coming in right now, 19-3. The reason why this is an interesting matchup and it's so hard to pick is because Aljamain Sterling is known, well, he's known for a couple things, but the Funk Master, as he goes by, is known for one big thing, and that's the cardio, that's the pace, and that's the grind. This guy's a wrestler. This guy is a wrestler who likes to make it a dirty fight, who likes to hold you up against the cage and says, you're going to get tired before I get tired. Good luck to you. So we have a matchup here where it's precision, power, and striking of Peter Yan taking on the grind, toughness, heart, and mindset of Aljamain Sterling. I'm going to the Vegas odds right now. We got Peter Yan coming in at -115. Aljamain Sterling going the other way at -105. So essentially, this is a pick'em fight. And with all due respect to Peter Yan, this is probably the toughest test by far that he's faced in Aljamain Sterling. But it begs the question, where do I go with this one? I think the grind, I think the wrestling, I think the unorthodoxness, is that even a word? Unorthodoxness? We're going to say it's a word today, everybody. It's Friday. I don't care. I think that of Sterling might be a little too much for Peter Yan. Yes, Peter Yan has him in striking, but that's the thing about a grappler. That's the thing about a wrestler. You dictate where the fight goes. I feel if Aljamain Sterling can make this a dirty fight, which he very well can be, I think we have a new champion, everybody, at 135. But we'll see. I mean, it's like I said, it's a pick'em fight right now. Maybe my opinion changes a little bit, but give me Aljamain Sterling. Give me Stylebender, give me Amanda Nunes, and give me Aljamain Sterling. There's plenty of other great fights to break down, but unfortunately, we don't have that much time. We're going to break here. I'm not trying to make Kuz too mad, but UFC 259, you know what I always say, everybody, check your local listings. It's going to be a barn burner. Definitely one you don't want to miss if you're a fight fan. We close out the show next here on ESPN 690.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
Happy Friday. I'm Jake Mitchell. The Steel City is saving a ton of cap space thanks to Big Ben. The veteran QB restructured his deal to save the team $15 million and to take a personal pay cut of $5 million this year. Here's Dan Orlovsky, ESPN NFL analyst, who thinks that still might not be enough.
What's next is one, fix the offensive line. You know, it's like Villanueva, their left tackle, free agent. Banner, free agent. Pouncey, done. DeCastro's expensive. So, like they better fix the offensive line before anything, and that's going to be very difficult. They've got a lot of big moves left to even get back to, like, contending or thinking about getting into the playoffs.
And you may want to go through your football card collection because someone just sold a Tom Brady rookie card for a record $1.32 million. Previous record for a football card was $500,000. This Sports Center Update is brought to you by Morgan & Morgan. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Max. He came out and said LeBron should, stay out of politics. And that when people, they should stay with what they're great at. And he doesn't like it when people venture into politics. And it's not that he'll stay out of all social issues. His name, the way he was treated at times and everything, that's a social issue. But listen to LeBron. He should, and a lot of people heard this as shut up and dribble.
The Max Kellerman Show, weekdays at 2 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Watch exclusively on ESPN+.
Hello, you have reached the Crooks R Us training helpline. Today we're explaining the term verified alarm to all you newbies out there.
Oh, boss, I can explain that. A verified alarm just means that whatever caused the security system alarm to go off has been verified.
Correct. And what alarm company is known for providing the fastest verified alarms?
Safe Touch Security.
Exactly. Because SafeTouch has the two-way communicator, which leads to alarm verification within seconds.
And alarm verification is very bad for us crooks.
Yeah, unlike a non-verified alarm that police label a low priority.
Like right below getting Grandma's cat out of a tree low.
So, to sum up, verified alarms. Just one more reason we crooks have the golden rule. Stay away from SafeTouch houses. Remember that, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, kitty, kitty.
Only one security system is truly the best. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of SafeTouch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call SafeTouch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Got a business trip, long weekend, or maybe you just really want to try that new Toyota before you buy it? Then get it all when you rent a Toyota from Arlington Toyota. With easy online reservations and rental rates as low as $19.95 a day, there's nothing stopping you from hitting the open road. You can even rent 2021 models. Rent a Toyota from Arlington Toyota. Try it before you buy it and reserve your rental online at arlingtontoyota.com today.
In these unprecedented times, nurses on the front lines continue to deliver treatment and care under some extreme medical and environmental conditions. I'm Glenn Levine from the law offices of Anajar Levine. If you are a nurse or other licensed healthcare professional and currently face an investigation or complaint that threatens your professional license, let us help you protect your rights. Call us at 904-600-4000 for a consultation and take back control of your life.
Office in Jacksonville.
This message is sponsored by the Florida Long-Term Care Ombudsman Program, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station. My name is Deborah. I serve as a district manager for the Florida Long-Term Care Ombudsman Program. I am passionate about helping others and advocating to protect the quality of life and the rights for those who many times cannot help themselves. You can make a difference in someone's life today. Visit us at ombudsman.myflorida.com to learn more.
The March to Get Screened 5K, sponsored by the Borland Groover Foundation, is coming up March 28th. It's Rich Jones. Join me to raise funds for colon cancer awareness, life-saving screenings, and more. Check it all out at marchtogetscreened.com.
ESPN 690 is home for the Florida Sportsman Fishing Show hosted by Captain Rick Riles. Tune in every Saturday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. to find out what's biting now. Fishing so fresh, you can almost smell it.
Unfiltered. Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, and Zubin Mahente.
You actually shouldn't have never benched Mitch Trubisky when he was 3-0. You probably would have put yourself in a much better place right now today.
Keyshawn, Jay Will, and Zubin. Weekday mornings at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio, your smart speaker, or on ESPN News.
Yeah, I'm lucky in that I have a really good general manager that gets to worry about those things. But I will tell you, I mean, obviously, Andrew and I talk about all of our players and all of these things. But I'll just tell you that all of these decisions, it's a business, but things take care of themselves. It works itself out. And we're just going to focus, or at least I'm going to focus on the day-to-day. And as it applies to Baker, I know he's going to do the same.
Kuz, I'm going to be honest. I don't care who that is. Who is it? Quick, just go ahead and say his name.
Stefanski.
Sure, of course. Yep. Browns head coach. Talking about Baker Mayfield. I'm not going to lie. I didn't listen to it because there's other pressing matters now we got to talk about.
Oh.
And listen, this is coming from me today, who gave you your platform to talk up TJ McConnell.
Yeah.
I apologize to TJ McConnell. I've been hard on TJ McConnell. The guy posts the most extra triple-double of all time. And, I gave him his props. And I thought we're on the same page here. But imagine my surprise when I go on YouTube, I go, to the live feed, and I see the most aggressive chat sign on our ESPN 690 chat stream that you can imagine, or stream chat, whatever.
No, it's just chat now.
Listen, I know. Oh, man. I'm trying so hard to remain calm. We have literally 10 more minutes of the show, and then we're good to go.
You told me you were having trouble with it, so I figured I would just take out the word.
Here's what I was having trouble with. I was having trouble with the standpoint of it said ESPN 690 stream chat.
Yeah, so I changed it to just ESPN 690 chat.
Like Ron Burgundy, whatever I read, I say. So I was trying to follow the rules, which I thought was the name of the show, and I would say ESPN Stream Chat. I voiced my concern because you scolded me and said, well, it's actually the chat. Okay, the kids are calling it the chat.
Yeah.
You don't call it the Stream Chat. Okay, fine. But then when you put this giant bulbous red marker in the middle of our stream, I feel like that's a giant middle finger to me right now.
No.
I feel like you're not trying to do the show any kind of help, and you're literally trying to come at me right now. I feel like this Stream Chat, this giant red blob in the middle of our stream, I feel like it's a declaration of war coming from you.
No, it is our colors of our station are red and black. So
it's white though.
Well, yeah, because I didn't want to put like the black on it. I felt like that would look weird. I needed
black
it
on black. Okay,
to
gotcha.
stick out a little. So I did red with white.
Yes.
And I put it where the other chat was.
Now, why is it bigger?
That's just because I stopped adjusting it when we were messing with it. Because mainly, okay, so here was what was happening.
Take me through your mindset right now and why I shouldn't be upset with you what you're trying to do to me.
For anybody that was watching the actual stream,
yes,
while you were breaking down the fights,
yes,
you could also see that was being adjusted, and then I felt that's taking away from what Austin's saying.
Okay,
so I just left it.
Okay,
because it was moving around so much. I was just like, I don't want to mess with it. They're gonna not hear what Austin is saying and just watch this square moving around the chat.
And for those of you listening on the radio, what we're referring to right now is if you watch us, via Twitter, Periscope, Facebook, YouTube, other things, we have a stream chat. Or we had a stream chat. Now we have a chat because Kuz changed it, and it's ginormous. And once again, I feel like it's a middle finger torn at me. I'm not going to let it ruin my weekend, okay? We are so close to the end. It's been, I'll be honest with you, these past 2 weeks, I'm not one to complain at all, but doing the morning show, getting ready for a fight, and then having to do the show by myself, it's been a lot on my plate. You've helped me out, and you've been fantastic. But I feel like this is a last middle finger at me before we head out the door.
This was me trying to help you out so that you didn't call it a stream chat and not look cool to the kids.
It is what it is.
Okay.
What kids?
I don't know.
We have a bunch of grown adults who can pronounce Vuvicic and stuff.
I don't
these
know
aren't
how
kids.
old Big Diesel 54 is.
He's Big Diesel. He's
Big
definitely
Diesel.
younger.
He's
Or
definitely not
maybe I
young.
know. God, it's such a bad. It's such a bad. I mean, it's cool. I almost swore, but it's such a cool nickname. I wish
Big
I would have
Diesel?
thought of it. Big Diesel.
Who was the one? Who were we talking to that said they used to be called the Keg? Was that you?
The
Who was
Keg?
I around? I was talking to someone the other day that said that they used to call their nickname was the Keg in college, and
the
I was like,
Keg?
that's a very college nickname to have.
Well, how convenient was it? You remember? You've probably never seen Old School, have you? Have you ever seen Old School?
I haven't seen it in a long time. Like
But
I put it
Will
on the
Ferrell?
other day, and
Yeah.
Will Ferrell, my fiance, made me turn it off.
So, you know the whole phrase "Frank the Tank"?
Yeah.
Well, back in my high school days and back in my college career, I might have dropped a couple beer bongs, and when I say dropped them, I mean like world record time. And when I did them, they might have echoed "Lane the Train." So it was a good time to be alive.
So A-Train wasn't like a...
No, I mean, it was Lane the Train for a while, then it's A-Train,
Okay.
then, what do we want to do? But we got a couple of housekeeping notes real quick before we head out here. We got Monster Jam coming into town. I'm sure my son's going to want me to take him to that. We'll see. There's a lot of sports happening this weekend, little dude, but we'll see what we can do for you. But we got Monster Jam returning to Jacksonville and TIA Bank Field Saturday, March 6th and Sunday, March 7th. Tickets start at $20, but you can win yours from ESPN. Us, by the way. So go to the contest page on ESPN690.com for your chance to enter and win. Free Monster Jam tickets. Can't go wrong with that.
And
Cruz, what else you got for us?
Yeah, the other thing is this weekend, this Saturday is going to be Shopability Saturday. We kind of talked about it a little bit ago, but
We did.
It's essentially going out and supporting businesses around town. There's over 150 of them, from my understanding, that provide employment for individuals with like autism, Down syndrome, and other developmental differences.
Yeah.
So there's an interactive map of these places that you can go to shop and support. You have to go to connectablejax.com/shopability, or you can find it also at ESPN690.com.
Fantastic, man. It's a really cool thing for a really cool cause. I mean, you're helping out a bunch of people, including local businesses. So definitely, I mean, like Kuz was saying, if you want to go on our website, check that out. It's there to check out.
And my fiance and I were looking at some that were kind of close to us, and she's like, so tomorrow when you have the day off and I have to work, she's getting ready for the players, she's like,
sure,
you're going to go to some of these places and buy me some gifts? And I was like, no, actually, I'm not going to do that at all.
I mean, so, and to set the scene a little bit for those
I'm going to buy
that,
my own stuff.
that
I'm going to
don't
buy
know,
it for me.
your fiance works at TPC Sawgrass.
Yes.
Is this kind of like the weekend coming? I mean, is it stress city
dude,
for her?
she is, on edge, like ready for it to be over, obviously, because a lot of hard work goes into it. I was actually there the other day. We had to sit essentially next to the 17th green.
Yeah.
As close as I was allowed to go because, I'm not allowed to be there.
Of course.
But we had to FaceTime with somebody in North Carolina so that we could get our wedding license, like the paper. So we, because she can't take off work.
Sure.
So I just had to go there. We're like sitting on the lawn as they're getting the whole thing
the
ready.
marriage license ready?
And they're like, "Are you guys related to each other?" And like asking questions.
How romantic.
Right.
What was your wedding like? Well, yeah, you'd be surprised.
We sat next to 17th green and somebody asked us if we were related. We said no.
There's worse
and
ways
now
to
we're
get married.
Yeah.
So you guys are officially married?
No, we will be. We just got the papers that we have to sign.
Okay.
Yeah.
When are you going to sign them?
April 16th.
Are you going to hold out or are you going to go with that contract?
So I told my fiance, there's some
stipulations.
I can still get out.
The modern era groomsmen.
She made me pay that down payment on that paper, that like $60 just to get the paper. She's like, "See, you've already paid. You're committed." I was like, "That's $60."
Nah, man. Coos, hey, I'll be your agent and I'll get you the best deal possible. Hey, everybody, thanks for tuning in this week. It's been fun. It's been a blast. Have a great weekend. Stay casual. Stay safe. For Justin Cousart, for Austin Lane, ESPN 690. We'll catch you same time next week, man. Mwah. Peace.
They just don't make them like they used to.
People say that a lot, and sometimes it's true, but not for air conditioning.